Good morning, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3. The Fan. Summer break continues in here this morning. And, yeah, I got flip-flops on. Don't look at me, squirrely.
Actually looking at your concert T-shirt.
Yeah. Hannah made me buy this one. I would not have selected it for myself. But she said the kids would love it. So I said, okay. So she bought it for me. Very nice of her. We can get into that in a moment. I'm Woodsy. To my right is the great Paul Reindl. He's got his new, different shades than yesterday. I like that, mixing it up.
Thank you.
I wore my flip-flops today. Went shirtless the first part of the show yesterday because I didn't want to leave you guys in the cold for summer break. But to my left is Benjamin R. Higgins.
You've got a bathing suit on.
You do have a bathing suit on.
Yeah.
Bathing suit or swim trunks?
Swim trunks. I don't know.
I don't know what I call them.
I
call
always
them
grew up
board
calling
shorts.
it
Shorts.
bathing suit, but
yeah, we're not bathing in it though.
Yeah,
I do
that's
the
a good
same
point.
thing. It's our generation. Paulie's calls it board shorts. Darling, have you seen my bathing suit?
a bathing suit.
When I grew up, they were trunks. My mom
one of
was
those
like,
ones with the
pack of
suspenders,
trunks.
the old style where it went all the way up. And
all the
got,
way up.
like,
You had suspenders on to hold them up. There's a severe lack of suspenders going on these days. I think that's a good thing, ultimately. The fewer suspenders I see on a daily basis, the better. Well, good morning, everybody. It's good to be here with you guys. Yeah, I got the concert tee from the Jason Isbell and the 400 unit show last night. I've got some observations, some stories, as it were. Went to the show. He's one of my favorite artists, has been for a long time. He is essential. I mean, as somebody who speaks words for a living, words are very important to me. Very important. And in songwriting, they're almost even more so. And you're not going to find a better wordsmith walking the planet than Jason Isbell. You just won't. The man can turn a phrase like nobody's business. And he's just a legend. And so he played Humphreys last night. And
Humphreys by the Bay.
We've been planning to go for a long time. And I'll say this about Humphreys. Every time a show is at Humphreys, I go, oh, yes. What a beautiful, stunning venue Humphreys is. And then I remember, oh, you got to drive into Shelter Island. Got to find parking at Shelter Island. Then you have to go into Humphreys. And you walk in and you go, oh, God, look at the sun setting and the water and the homes over there in Point. It's beautiful.
What's the capacity there, roughly?
80? That's
Right?
the thing, maybe.
Remember, it's small.
It's small. So every
The
seat's a
parking
good
couldn't
seat.
have been that bad.
Here's the thing. Took me 30 minutes to find a parking spot. There was a yacht party or something going
That'll
down.
do it.
So there was all this going. So I pulled in. I'm like, dang, everybody's showing out for Jason Isbell tonight. They're like, actually, no, there's a massive yacht party out there. So Hannah and I were 15 minutes late to
Ben,
dinner.
how was the yacht party?
Yeah, how was the
It
yacht
was
party?
wonderful.
If you know me, I've never been 15 minutes late to anything in my entire life. So I was panicked, like just full on sweaty, the whole bit.
Did he have an opening act or?
He did. Dear Tick, who's another really, really good band. But we were meeting friends for dinner. My beloved Hillary from 91X, midday host over there, who's just been a basically family member since I started in radio. She's amazing.
I've never really been. Now, do you eat at Humphreys or do you go somewhere else near there for dinner? Or
so we were going to go to this place called Catch.
Yeah.
Catch. It was
Ketch.
I couldn't for the life of me remember the name of it.
It's like a brigantine related.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, what's this place? Kretsch? What is it? And so we walked in. They're like, no. So Hillary texted. She said, we're next door at the Brig. They got the last table available at the Brig. So we sat down. We had an amazing dinner with
I
her.
love brigantine fish tacos.
Yeah,
they're
it's
always
so good. Their fish tacos are even better than the fish tacos. Next time you get the fish tacos.
Try the
those
fish,
are good.
though.
No,
Fresh fish.
those are good. Fresh. So we had dinner, had a cocktail, delicious meal. Hillary and Chris are just amazing. So then we walked over to the thing, and you walk into Humphreys, you're like, this is beautiful. This is stunning. Well, then you go to your seat and you sit down in your seat, and it's a plastic wedding reception chair that is zip tied to the chair next to it, and then another one zip tied to you. There's enough room between your knees and the seat in front of you to slide, I don't know, like a piece of paper, slice of American cheese between it. So you sit there and you're like shoulder to shoulder, And then somebody in the middle of the row is like, hey, I got to go get a drink. You're like, so you got to walk all the way out into the aisle and wait. So there's 40 people waiting in the aisle for the one guy in the middle to walk out. Hannah's shifting and I'm shifting and you can't get comfortable. The seats
falling asleep.
The seats are torture devices. And it's not like you're not there standing up, dancing, like you're watching this beautiful wordsmith play his guitar and sing, and you're like, okay, great. But it's every time. It gets me every time because I'm like, ooh, the setting. The sun is, the sun going down. It's beautiful. It's perfect.
It's funny because you can go to a movie theater now, like Cinepolis, and
lay down,
full recliner, lay back,
chicken
and enjoy
tenders
the show
in your mouth, and
but
fresh.
Concert, you're not going to get that experience.
No,
ballpark. I guess they have the Jerome's best seats in the house. You kind of have to win those. I think
even
at sit in those.
Even at a ballpark, if somebody needs to get out, there's enough room to do the side turn,
the shuffle,
or at least just stand up, and let them shuffle by.
Can't do it. You cannot do it there, and they jam as many of those zip tied seats in together. But him coming out, so his band is incredible, just incredible, and his wife usually plays with him too. Amanda Shires is her name, and she plays the fiddle. I mean, she's like the best in the world. And then she has this beautiful voice. She wasn't there. So I only wept 3 times as opposed to the usual 9 to 12 times when I go see Jason Isbell. We're leaving dinner and Hillary and Hannah are like, grab those napkins because we're going to need them. There's a power to it. There's a depth to his music and his voice. But when she's singing with him, it's over. Like she opens her mouth and plays one note of the fiddle. You're done for. You're just sitting there like, oh God. But he was great. He was great and shredded the guitar and this is fantastic. Paulie, you'll know what to pull when I tell you the story. So the second song he plays is a song called Stockholm. And he's playing, gets about 2 verses in, turns around, looks at his band, he's like, cut, which I've never seen. He goes, he comes back to the mic, he goes, hey, y'all, I'm going to need to start that song over because a bug just flew in my mouth. So if y'all don't mind, we're just going to drink some water and then we're going to start this one over. And the first thing I did is I looked at Hannah and I said, Paulie knows exactly what I wanted to play.
What really happened on that Thursday here at Augusta High School that led to Chris Wood's death? The is that?
It's the first thing I thought of.
I'm dying in this country ass uptown. Flying in my mouth. I can't see pollen. Let's get the out this country, mother. I can't even see me.
Didn't know Shelter Island was so bad.
So full of mosquitoes or something. So he shuts it down and they start over and he just wrecked it. He wrecked it. So we stayed and we left before the encore. And I'll tell you, Benny, I don't know how you do this. I had 1 drink, so I'm not hungover. But I got home and I laid in bed and was like, I can't sleep. This is terrible. I slept for an hour and a half maybe. And up this morning, I looked at Hannah. I'm like, I don't know. How does he do this? I just don't know. Like, this can't be healthy.
I get more than an hour and a half, but yeah.
Because you can lay down and sleep.
Yeah, I just fall right asleep. The second it's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I fall right asleep. Like the second I decide I want to be asleep, it's gone. It's just not a problem anymore. But man. Yeah, if you're only doing it once in a while, you're not in your normal patterns and it can be difficult. So
it's terrible.
But I'm glad you went. Even I like Jason Isbell. I think my favorite concert I ever went to was I think it was 4th Vacation 3 years ago when Shelly and I went to Charleston to see the Jason Isbell show.
It's like 12
and his wife.
Ago.
It was just him and his wife, and they were fantastic. It was
acoustic,
really, and it was really terrific.
He's there. He's incredible, and you look at some of the lyrics to his songs, and again, and look. Like what you like. I don't care. I mean, you're going to go see Morgan Wallen this weekend. That's fine. Good for you. You don't find the depth of the words and the topics broached that he talks about, like on his new record too. And God, he's good, man. And he shreds. He's like the country music Eddie Van Halen up there, just shredding guitar and slide guitar. And he's He's incredible. He's been through a lot. It's very relatable to a lot of us that are trying to be better humans every day. When you hear those words, yeah, man, he got me a couple times last night, as he always does. But it was a great night, and it was great seeing some old friends and having a delicious meal and going to see some live music.
The is that?
So good, I couldn't believe it happened.
Now you're
Chris Wood's death. The is that?
Your one cocktail wasn't one of those Bali High Mai Tais.
No, we did not go to
Island,
Bali High because that would have been enough.
If that was your one, I could totally understand why you were feeling it this morning. Because those are the equivalent of about 6 drinks in and of themselves. I've had them before, and they limit you to 2 at that restaurant on Shelter Island. But
I will say this: my ass is killing me right now from sitting in those. Yes, my ass is killing me right now. It's just, I love the place. It's a great venue. You got to figure something out. You got to figure something out for those seats. Though.
Who is Humphrey anyway?
Who the hell is Humphrey?
Humphrey?
You're Humphrey. If you're listening, you're a cheap SOB. Get some better seats in there, Humphrey. Whoever you. It's just a beautiful place, though. Like, it's that whole area down there. You see the skyline, and you're just like, I can't believe this.
I've seen shows from the water, kayaking.
Yes,
It's
dude.
awesome.
It's unbelievable. More comfortable seat. A kayak.
Yeah.
Actually. The raft from Castaway. Better place to watch a show than the actual seats there.
What about a half-broken door?
Half-broken door. Just one of you on it. Megan holding on to it, you laying on it.
Right, of course.
Can I get up there? No, there's no room. I'm watching Jason Isbell up there. But it's it was awesome. It was awesome, and I'm so glad I went. And Paul says he has a boat next to Humphreys. Paul, I'm Woods. Would you like to be best friends with me? And whatever you need. Like, you want to come in the show, I'll let you do a segment, whatever you want, Paul. Let's be best friends. How about that? So anyway, I got a headache. I'm really tired. Slowest sports day of the year yesterday.
Yeah,
we're gonna
great day.
Great day.
Go out and just
Actually, it is. It's a perfect day, isn't it?
tonight would have been better.
Because I don't feel like I missed watching anything.
You didn't miss anything.
I missed the soccer match.
We need all hands on deck this morning.
I'm ready. I'm here.
Okay.
We're gonna push through this thing.
I did watch the soccer match. If you want to talk a little bit about USA Panama, did not go well for Team USA, or actually a lot of the fans apparently
anybody in attendance
at Snapdragon Stadium last night. It was a little toasty in Mission Valley. We will get into that story. And of course, it is almost time for the second half of the baseball season. Our Padres return tomorrow.
Here we go,
in
baby.
Philadelphia. 4 games in 3 days against one of the teams that they need to chase down in the second half of the season. Huge series coming out of the All-Star break. So we will talk about that as well. And I started planning what could be first or second vacation already next year.
First or second?
I was looking up hotel rooms in Seoul, South Korea.
Did you really look?
On
a whim?
I even went onto the Eater app as Seoul to see what kind of restaurants you might want to eat at if we make the trip with the San Diego Padres.
So
we'll talk about that announcement.
That's the 3rd week of March. Who are you kidding? That's at
probably
least
third vacation by then, by March.
Once a month next year.
I told you yesterday I needed to plan something.
Yeah.
Started planning possibly a trip to South Korea with the San Diego Padres.
I want it for you. So here's the deal also, guys. While it might have been a slow sports day, we have a segment. Well,
Eric says, take the radio equipment, Ben. You can do the show from
do
there.
the show from there. Eric, USOB. We have Bit Inception coming up at 7. It's a crossover of 2 of our favorite bits
from the last
couple weeks. Yeah, a couple months. You guys will hear it at 7.
I didn't have anything to do with this, but apparently I'm also.
You had more.
Yeah, you are instrumental. We couldn't have done it without you, to be honest with you.
Literally
we couldn't have done it. So 7 a.m. Bed Inception. You guys are really enjoy this.
I will get our daily ditty. Listener Joe, one take on Woods yesterday, so he gets the pick, and then we are off and running here on a Thursday. Glad to have you with us, Ben and Woods. Get our first check of traffic with Kelly as we get going on a Thursday on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Daily Ditty selection from listener Joe. That is Roger Daltrey of The Who.
Is it not The Who?
I think it's just this is like a
This
solo
is labeled
version.
on Spotify as Roger Daltrey.
But it's from the rock opera Tommy, which
was The Who.
It was The Who. It happens to be like
So
the best musical theater experience of my life. I went to the La Jolla Playhouse before it went to Broadway when it was first just kind of coming up as a show. I went to one of the early performances and I thought, oh, outstanding. Best theater experience of my life was seeing The Who's Tommy at the La Jolla Playhouse. Was outstanding.
I could see that.
Got into all of these songs. I got the album and listened to it a ton and really got into The Who for a while.
You did?
Yeah.
What the hell is happening?
I
I'm
know.
learning. I would be lying to you if every time I played pinball, which I do, there's a place we go eat dinner and they have a pinball machine. I always play pinball and I always think, that deaf, dumb, and blind kid
sure played
a me. And I think
pinball.
about it every time I play pinball. And yeah, Tommy, great rock opera. We've lost our way as far as rock operas. And I feel like if my favorite band was like, hey, we're coming out with a rock opera, I'd be like,
cringy, yeah.
a little bit. But maybe Morgan Wallen will do a rock opera soon. I bet that will be great. But anyway, so I digress. Great job, Joe. He beat me 5-4 yesterday. And got the Ditty selection. So well done.
Felt bad for, I know we have a ton of tier ones who are huge soccer fans. Our friend Craig Elston was the public address announcer last night at Snapdragon Stadium. Members of the American Outlaws, who are the U.S. men's national team and women's national team fan club. They have a big supporters group here in San Diego. All so excited to actually get a real-time international match with the United States playing Panama last night at Snapdragon Stadium in the semifinals of the Gold Cup, and it just did not go well all the way around. First of all, it was hot and the sun was kind of beating down. It was a weird 4:30.
Very odd start
was a weird start time.
I don't know why. Was there a rhyme or reason?
Well,
to that?
I mean, there was two semifinal games. The other one was in Las Vegas. It was Mexico against Jamaica. They wanted them on at separate times.
Makes sense.
So you had one go early, the other one went later, and they chose the Mexico one to be later, probably because
it's Vegas.
I think Mexico is the bigger draw. They get huge ratings in Mexico. Big game, bigger stadium. So they made that the primetime game. So San Diego kind of got the short end of the stick when it came to start time. 4:30, not easy to get to. You're driving through San Diego traffic. It's Thursday. People are still at work. Made it look pretty much half empty when the game started. Now, it was sold out. They announced in attendance, I think it was just under 32,000, which is pretty much full at Snapdragon Stadium. But it didn't look like that, at least for the start of the game. By the second half, it had kind of filled in a little bit as people got there late. But a lot of people weren't even sitting in their seats because they were in the blazing sun.
Yeah.
It was getting in the high 80s, 90s there in Mission Valley. Not as bad maybe as that first Aztecs game last year at noon when it was 100, but
that was
still
brutal.
Still wasn't that pleasant. People were kind of standing around in the shade. And then the game, U.S. played awful, just terrible in the first half. They were lucky not to have given up a score. No one scored the entire game until extra time. Then the U.S. gave up a goal to Panama. We're down 1-0. It looked pretty bleak. Scored a terrific goal to tie it up. Really amazing goal by Jesus Ferreira at about the 110th minute. First half of the extra time. That was it for the scoring. They went to the penalty kicks, and unlike the quarterfinals when they won penalty kicks against Canada, it's kind of a guessing game in penalty kicks. The goalie is going to jump the right way or not. Ended up losing in the 6th round of penalty kicks, 5-4, and Panama goes on to the final against Mexico on Sunday. So all the waiting and excitement that everyone did kind of got a bit of a disappointing game last night.
Ralph says in the chat, the Raider Stadium was empty too, though. He said they should have had Mexico here. We would have packed it up. Man, the scenes that I saw again, and a lot of people reporting on it, just the heat. People were walking around the concourse trying to find some shade. And then there was the quote. Who was the quote from the other day that was like, yeah, we're not building, we're not putting
I think
any.
It was one of the
Saquon.
MLS guys, Cody Martinez from Saquon, one of the owners of the new MLS team, was asked at one of their supporters events they had, are you guys going to put in some like shade sales, before the MLS team starts play in 2025? And they said, no, we're not planning on it. It's a big investment. Our games are mostly at night. But he said, stadium looks kind of, unfinished without it, though. Like something's missing from Snapdragon Stadium.
Yeah, Darnay, our buddy Darnay was there the other day. He said co-owner / Saquon Tribal Chairman Cody Martinez said there's no plan to add shade structure at Snapdragon. So stadium should have been built with one. MLS is not pushing it since matches will be at night. Believes the stadium looks incomplete and will spend $100 million elsewhere.
I told you when this story happened, we're in the wrong business. We need to be in the shade sale business. $100 million for shade. We are in the wrong business. Period. The end. We could go to them.
I mean, anything that's solid can provide shade.
Correct.
Right?
We could go to them and pull a hacksaw and say, we'll do it for $50 million. That's what we could do. We'll say, well, what did you say the cost was? 100? We'll do it for 50. It's something he used to do with endorsements, apparently. So that we could do that. Let's start a shade business. Paulie,
how hard can it be?
How hard can it be? Paulie, you're a resourceful
get some
SOB.
big tarps, and
I'll make the calls.
Go down to Home Depot, get some of those big blue tarps.
I'll make the calls. You guys do the install, and we'll call it a day. We'll whack up our cash and call it a day, man. Let's do it.
Done.
Shade business. Paulie's at Home Depot today, pulling like some sort of film off to cut and bring home and set up. It's terrible. You gotta make that. If you're good, this is the thing that bothers me about it. If you're gonna do it all the way. It's like a project I would do in high school, Snapdragon Stadium. Like I've been inside it at night. Spectacular. We hosted an event there. Absolutely stunning, beautiful event. I also did the Seals game. Now, when I did the Seals game outdoor there, luckily for us, we got a gray, overcast day that was nice and cool. It was actually a little bit chilly. So that was perfect. But the way things are going, man, like a lot of sunny days out there. And you don't want another incident like you had at the Aztecs game.
I know what you're saying. Why not just spend a little bit more? Right. I think they stretched the budget just to get what they had built. I mean, wasn't easy for them to come up with the $300 million or whatever it was just to get the stadium in place as quickly as they did. They may not have had anything else, any wiggle room to add some bells and whistles to that stadium at the end. They needed to get it open.
Is it out of line to suggest though, if you had the resources to build luxury suites, maybe you have the resources to put up some shade?
Just finish the job, man. Just finish the job. Make it as perfect as you can.
See, now luxury seats make more money though.
Correct. Than shade.
Shade doesn't necessarily.
You can't sit on the shade.
I mean, eventually, if people stop coming because it's too hot, you're going to say,
lose money.
Guess we wish we had put shade in, but so far they're still coming. They're just uncomfortable when they're there.
I thought I'd throw a little shade since we were talking about shade this morning.
All right, we'll come back. Big announcement yesterday from Major League Baseball involving the San Diego Padres. Also has the effect of maybe tying the hands of AJ Preller a little bit, at least until next season. We'll talk about all of that coming up, and want to know if you've got plans to head to Korea to watch your baseball team. You can give us a call, 833-288-0973. A bucket list trip, or are you happy to watch it on television in the middle of the night in March next year? Going to change spring training, I think, a lot. A lot of things. Think about the impact of what this announcement is going to have on your San Diego Padres.
World Baseball Classic.
Korea.
We just have a normal spring training.
Built-in excuses.
It's going to be different.
Well, guys, I mean, the reason we got off to a slow, we had the Soul Series. We were exhausted. Here we go again.
We'll give you some of those details if you didn't see them coming up next with Bennett Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This hour on the Fan is brought to you by Cars.com. Whether you're looking for the perfect summer road trip car or something you can zip up around in, visit Cars.com today. They have over 2 million cars for your 2 million summer possibilities. Head to Cars.com. Check out the possibilities. Cars.com. Where to next? Usually we lay out the guest list for the show sometime in the first hour. I believe for the third. Did you guys have any guests on Monday?
We had Eric Kratz.
Eric Kratz,
Okay, so you
former
have-
big league
and
catcher.
The last
Sammy.
3 days we have been guest free
Yeah,
during our summer break.
Monday
Summer
wasn't
break.
summer break.
No, Monday wasn't summer
Just
break.
summer break. We've been taking a break and giving our regulars a little break as well. Today would be an Eno Saris Thursday. He came in studio last week.
Yeah, dude.
We're giving him the All-Star break off. All of those regulars will be back.
Ask
next
him about
week.
the exit velo from the All-Star game.
Yeah,
So
or-
that Soto hit is promising. Very high exit velo. No, give the man the week off. By the way, I was going to tell you guys, I'm very proud of both of you and us for that. Like, that's not easy to do. And we're not done by any stretch today. We could absolutely hit the wall. But I'm very proud of the last 2 summer break shows that we've done. It's fun to challenge yourself when you have a platform like this. It's really fun. And it's terrifying. It's like working without a net sometimes, you feel like. And that's sometimes what an interview can be, is a net. You're like, cool, let this guy talk for a while and we'll take a little bit of a breather. But I'm very proud of us. We've done some good stuff this week, and we got more good stuff to come in just 20 minutes. Bit Inception. You guys are going to love this.
When the guests do return, of course, they always appear on the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads. If you haven't figured it out by now, I have to read that every hour, whether or not we have guests on the program, which is
little
why
behind the curtain there.
I sneak it in there. Callers could be considered guests, though, and we'd love to hear from you. 833-288-0973. I want to know if
it hasn't been great.
I want to know if Padres fans are planning a trip to South Korea, and if they really have thought it out, what it's going to be like, and what this looks like for the San Diego Padres to start next season. After yesterday's announcement, we'll talk about it right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Danick.
Not too bad of a ride on our freeways at this time. We do have a crash on the coastline northbound of 5. This is past Las Vegas. A couple vehicles involved in this one. They are over the right shoulder. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So it's been rumored a few months now, I think, when we first heard about the possibility of the Padres opening the 2024 season overseas. But yesterday it was made official by Major League Baseball, making an announcement. Several games of their world tour, Mexico City, London, some spring games in the Dominican Republic, and, of course, the first ever regular season games and season opener in Seoul, South Korea, between the Padres and the Dodgers, who will play games very early on March 20th and 21st next season, the first 2 regular season games of the year. Full like a week and a half before the actual season starts. Padres are going to go to Korea, going to spend about a week in Seoul, Korea, and get 2 regular season games under their belt before they return to the United States in Petco Park for their United States opener later in the month of March.
It is a 12-hour and 39-minute flight from here, from San Diego. I'm assuming you probably may want to fly out of LA. I don't know why, but price. So we're on the Padres flagship. I've just been wrestling with myself. How much of a stink do we want to make about going? Now we are up for contract renewal, right? Our contract expires at the end of the year. Is this something you guys want me to pitch a fit about or no?
Should we write
It's
it
up
in?
to you.
I mean, I would love to go.
On your dime?
Well, not completely on my dime.
How much of your dime are you willing to spend?
Well, I'm looking
3 of your dime?
I'm looking at flights generally for like coach seats round trip to Seoul, South Korea. You're looking around $1,500.
Have you ever
per
flown
person.
coach?
Yes, I have
You
flown coach.
All right, cool.
I've never flown coach to Asia on a 12-hour flight. I've never been on a 12-hour flight. I think the longest flight I've ever been on was like 9 to 10 hours from London to San Diego.
You guys work with me every day.
You'd probably enjoy that, right?
I'm very fidgety, as you know. 4 hours. took me 30 minutes to find parking last night, and I almost died. I don't know if I have it in me to do this trip. I don't know if I'm.
The seats will be at least as comfortable as Humphreys.
It's like a Humphrey. We get on the seats are zip tied together. I'm like, here we go again.
Holy
Humphrey's air.
Zip
Tied together. I'm sitting next to Ben, just sitting there going, oh my God, how did you talk me into this? Just chewing Xanax.
Woods, you are in row 38B.
Right by the crapper.
Between A and C, all the way to Asia.
Let's see. So what dates of the games? March 20th,
20th and
21st?
21st.
So when we want to get in on like Monday the 18th.
Well, the Padres are going like a week early, so you definitely want to get in
an Expedia here.
At least 2 or 3 days early.
Okay.
I mean, you're not going to go to Asia for a weekend.
About Sunday to Saturday.
You need to make it. Yeah. All right. Sunday to Saturday.
Let's plug that in. Flights from San Diego. 3 travelers.
You're putting together
rooms.
Together a package as to what this
we'll just hash this
retail
out
just
right here on
costs
the
right on the internet. Yeah.
We have nothing else to do. Nothing. Unless you guys want us to talk about the ESPYs last night.
Well, I mean, this is a service to Padres fans who are probably, I'm sure there's a lot of people who are thinking about a bucket list trip. Whenever are you ever going to get to see your Padres play in Asia again? This would be your opportunity. They're going to play in a.
If that was on your bucket list, see my Padres play in Asia, then yeah, you're pretty stoked about this.
They're going to play in the same stadium where Ha-Seong Kim used to play with the Kiwoom Heroes. It's on the south side of Seoul. It's only about 19,000 seats. It's a small little dome where they play their home game. So tickets are probably going to be pretty pricey, pretty coveted to get into just 2 Major League Baseball games for a country that's never seen an actual Major League Baseball game. But they're pretty baseball crazy. The KBO, very popular in that country, and Ha-Seong Kim, of course, very popular. So you got to think that there's going to be a pretty high demand just to get tickets for those games in South Korea next year. It's all going to add up pretty quickly.
Is there not an Italian team we can play somewhere in Italy, perhaps, or like Spain?
Are you hoping for like Italian food on your trip, like a more of a European vacation?
Yeah,
I Korean barbecue would be delicious, though. Have you ever had Korean barbecue? Really good.
I feel like that's an Americanized version of something. I do. I feel like we said, let's just make it our, like with the Hawaiian shirts we talked about yesterday. I don't know. It's a 13-hour flight. The jet lag.
Have you put together a package yet, Paul?
Paul's working on a package. Travel agent Paul over there.
So
flights, everything together to get to South Korea.
Here
Brad says
out of LAX.
Brad in the chat says it snows hard in March there. Wow. Did not know that.
Didn't know that.
Maybe
either.
he's lying to us, but I'm going to choose to believe him because if it's in the chat or on Twitter, it must be true. Now, you really want to go, and you said your mom wants to go, take the kids. So you're probably going.
I don't know. I mean, it's still, even if you want to go, like I said, this is a pretty serious venture to try to plan a trip to South Korea.
How about a Hawaii stadium? That would be
where you'd want to start the year. Padres have played regular season games in Hawaii before.
We have pitched a couple of ideas here to do like flyaways and stuff to like Philly. So I find it hard to wrap my head around. Like I don't want to lay out for it on my dime either, but I guess if we went, it'd be an experience. I guess I need more experiences.
I also brought up the fact that they released a video yesterday. Ha-Seong Kim talking about how excited he is to go back to his home country to represent the Padres, to play in Korea in a Padres uniform. You kind of tied AJ Preller's hands here. You kind of got to keep Ha-Seong Kim now. Not that they were planning on trading him, but he's a guy who has built value with 1 year left on his contract. But now it's almost like you can't. I mean, from a business perspective, you cannot trade. You cannot trade him, at least before the trip to Korea next year.
I would not want to. Get that on the record.
I'm not saying that I want. Yeah, I love
get that on the record.
Love Ha-Seong Kim, but
he's invaluable to this team. That being said, yeah, you did exactly that. And that's a guy that would fetch a pretty good haul right now. Not that we want to. Again, for the record, we love Ha-Seong Kim, want him to stay forever. But yeah, you're pot committed at this point to having him there. It would be very, very strange. But
Also, I'm not sure if this means the Padres will probably start spring training a little earlier. Usually it's around the middle of February, like February 15th, 16th. But if they're flying out to Korea on March 13th, I wonder if they're going to maybe get like an early start, like a few days, like a week early to spring training. Like it'll be Super Bowl Sunday, and the Padres are already be at spring training at that point because they've got to get going a little bit early. Now, they will also, after the game, come back and still actually be in spring training. They'll have like 2 more exhibition games before playing their 3rd regular season game. That schedule, that hasn't come out yet. I think usually it's in August or September for the next season, and we'll find out where the United States opener is, whether it's at Petco Park.
Probably in Miami.
They'll be on the road. Yeah, nice little fly the opposite direction somewhere. But.
East Coast road trip. What'd you come up with?
So Expedia has done. Now this was very quick.
Right.
I haven't done a whole lot of research. But Adam, just so you know, I've got us 3 rooms.
Okay.
I did upgrade to king size beds.
Thanks. Needed.
Everything else was like small twin size beds. We got our own rooms.
Okay, good.
We're staying at the Voco Seoul Gangnam.
How many stars?
It's an IHG hotel. It was rated pretty high. I got 9 out of 10.
Okay,
on
nice.
Expedia.
That's good.
3 round trip tickets out of San Diego. It's basically out of LA because you do fly up to LA, hang out at LAX for like 3 or 4 hours. So it's a total of like 17,
Adam, if you really need
trip.
us to save the money, I'll drive us up to LA.
So we could maybe trim this down, but I got us at just under $7,000
total.
$6,980.
That's it.
Should be a no-brainer.
That's easy. Odyssey can afford that, I'm sure. No problem. Book it. Just go ahead and book it.
Put it on Kluger's credit card now, and then we can always cancel later.
Adam, you can keep the points if you want.
Yeah, 7,000 points.
That's a lot of points, miles to
now
take your own family vacation later.
It was $7,212.90. But if I book right now with Expedia, I can save $232.62.
That looking out for the company's dollar right there with the Expedia savings. That's nearly a savings of 2.5%, Paul. That's fantastic.
Per capita, by the way. What's the deductible on that?
What's that?
What's the deductible on that, Paul?
Oh, yeah.
Now, are we buying trip insurance?
Free Wi-Fi?
We passed on that?
Excuse me. So,
I didn't think, do we need a car?
Well, here's the deal. I do firmly believe this. If one goes, we all must go. Right?
One go, all go. Yeah.
Yeah. They can't. Ben's like,
Benedict Higgins.
See, guys, I'll be off in Seoul. Be like, again? Oh, no. So I feel like if one goes, are people planning on going out there? Do we have callers on the line?
We got Dean on the line.
Dino.
I don't know if he's I don't think he's planning on going to Korea. Are you going to Korea, Dean?
I am not. But
okay.
I wanted to say, just listen to you guys talk about this. You 3 absolutely have to be out there for that. For one, it's a once in a lifetime type of thing. But I think just for the show
content
and promotion and content, exactly. You guys need to make that happen. So,
think of the video content that we
$7,000 for content is what all Adam hears right now. He's like, you can get good content at home.
Ben and Woods drinking shochu.
No, Adam, this will be really good content.
What is shochu?
That's like their alcohol. It's like a vodka. It's
Sunny D in it.
Yeah,
mix with a little Sunny D.
Why not?
Call her a day. All right.
Should I fill this out? Like travel information?
Fill it out.
Okay.
Yeah. You need my social?
So when do you think that? I don't know when the game times are, but with the time difference,
when do we broadcast? Like
our show would be on, Paulie said, from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. local time.
It's 10:53 p.m.
there. So 6:53 a.m. So our show would start at 10 p.m. later that day and finish at 2 a.m. the following day, if we did a 4-hour show from Korea. So I guess if the game was like a 6 o'clock game in Korea, we'd be on right after Sammy's post-game show. So the game would start around 2 a.m. here. It would wrap up around 5. Sammy would do the post-game show leading right into our 6 a.m. start. That's perfect timing for us.
I guess it is. All right. I mean,
and I hear Seoul's a 24-hour town. So we do the show. We get off at 2 a.m. We hit the town, get some cocktails, get some food. Shochu.
We still will want to go to spring training in February.
Yeah, so it's double trip. Paulie and I'll be at fantasy camp.
So we're gonna need. We're gonna have to.
I'm gonna need like $40,000 extra, just so you know. I'm sure that'll No problem.
But yeah, I mean, as you said, no built-in excuses already for next season, but it's going to be a logistical headache, to say the least, to figure out spring training, the trip, coming back, getting everybody rested and ready again to go for another opening day, a week later, all something that the Padres are going to have to factor in and plan for. And, 2 important games against the Los Angeles Dodgers with the new schedule, and you're only playing 13, 14 games, what it is against your division rivals. You can't punt on any of those. You got to be ready to play in those first 2 games of the season against very important team that you'll be facing.
Yeah, no question. I mean, is there anything worse than doing 28 hours on a plane to go watch them get beat by the Dodgers twice? It's not. I mean, that would be terrible. But at least we get our shoju in us and
how many T-shirts do we need to sell on our merch store?
He is mostly excited for Korean barbecue. Like every time he talks about it, his face lights up.
I think that's excited. like the McDonald's. Like I think you were right, Woods.
I think it's something we invented. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just talking on my ass here as usual, but I have no idea.
So we'll find out, won't we?
It feels like you will find out. It really feels like you're planning on going.
All right, you guys are planning something.
Oh, yes. Bit Inception.
When
bits collide.
Also, we got a real or fake game coming up. Chance to qualify someone for a trip to Las Vegas. Not quite Korea. It's a little closer, but still a lot of fun.
Probably Korean barbecue there.
Got a text from Adam. Let's see what that is.
Oh, good.
Coming up next with Ben Woods at 97.3 The Fan. I like the fact our boss Adam is at least asking the questions. All right, when will the game start? What's the time difference? So it makes me think that it's
I think
a
I got
possibility
him a
here.
fairly reasonable price.
I do too. Well done.
Flight coach.
Paulie, you need another job as a travel agent on the side.
All right, let me upgrade the flights.
Yeah, if we're gonna do it, let's do it right, Adam. First class.
You
all
know,
the way.
hey, if the Padres want to just take us with them on their plane, that would be fun.
I don't think they like us very
That
much.
much,
if I'm
yeah.
being honest,
They're going
so.
to save us some seats on the back of their charter flight.
I really don't think they like us.
I can picture Woods sitting next to Manny the entire flight.
So
from-
anyway, I don't want to bother you, but I'm going to bother you incessantly for the entire flight. So, what was it like? What's it like being able to do whatever you want with a glove? It's incredible. Anyway, you come home when we get home. Show Bo a couple
3
things.
hours in, Manny is, can I move my seat, please?
Anybody? I need a cocktail.
Chris
Here.
Farley.
Yeah. Hey,
Remember?
you remember that
when you
time?
kicked that ball and you were in foul territory and
So
threw him
cool.
out at first?
Oh,
That was
man.
awesome.
That was awesome.
They would. That's part of the reason they wouldn't let us on the plane. I'd be wearing guys out the whole time.
All right, Paul and Ben, you guys are good.
Oh man.
Woods,
I'll hold it down here. You guys go have fun. I'll be here. I mean, I got two little kids. I can't, and I'm not bringing them. I'll tell you that right now. There's no way.
You know
my
just up and leave for a week.
You know my wife, because
Asia.
we're already going to fantasy camp for a week. We're already going to spring training for a week, and then a week later, I'm like, I'm off to Seoul. See you guys later. Hannah will murder me. Like she will literally steal my soul. I just don't know if I can pull it off. But
steal your soul.
While you're wearing a soul patch, you can have
in Seoul. All right, so trying to think of the best way to set this up. All right, so when bits collide, I like. So we've been having some fun with Ben. Go figure. A couple weeks ago, Ben, we were talking about the bad things we did as a child. Turns out Ben did nothing bad, nothing, zero. Never ding dong ditch. Never made a prank call. And so Paulie and I, we did a prank call when you were out. Now there's another thing that we did. It took us 6 months essentially to get this bit done, and it was things that Ben likes. You like a lot of stuff. You like a lot of stuff. This is what that sounds like.
I like good, juicy, sweet strawberries.
I like a good marching band. I like a good thin pancake.
I like a Nickelback song or two.
I like a barbecue chicken pizza. I really like those seeds. I like a midnight buffet. I kind of like the smell of soft scrub. I like more of a small derriere. I like cake.
I like Ed Sheeran.
I like both a hamburger and a cheeseburger. I like clocks. I like how I've kind of set up my life. I like grasshopper pie.
Oh no, I like it creamy. I like good, firm banana.
I like just looking out at the sea. I like eating.
I like moist.
I like curry.
I like big butts.
I like fried Brussels sprouts. I like more of a firm filling. I like corn.
I like Nordstrom. I do like musicals.
I like pepperoni. I like nice hotels. I like Nick getting a start today. I like nuts. I like Steph Curry. I like that song.
I like Squirt.
I like sake. I like San Diego State.
I like Straight Up, Paul Abdul.
I like the beef and broccoli. I like to mix it up. I like science experiments. I like that song. I like the crispiness of the waffle. I really like cheese. I like the little lunch meat. I like very straight lines. I like cannelloni. I like a well-crafted headline. I like brown sugar. I like maps. I'll say I like Justin Turner. Okay.
Every time I hear this one, I feel like I like what he said. I like when Ben says, I like Steph Curry. I don't know why. It just kills me every time. So Paulie and I we had an idea yesterday. Ben was in like a meeting with one of our sales reps, and I go, oh my God. All right, Paulie, go into the I likes. Pull all of the food. Okay? Pull the food.
It's a lot of food.
It's a lot of food. And I
that's
said,
for sure.
pull the food from the I likes. So we this one, I didn't have an hour and a half to try 400 different places. So I went to somebody I know, and I called his place of employment. It's our pal Rob Zilla, who works down the hall. He owns Crossroads Deli, which is fantastic. They make delicious sandwiches. And we gave Rob Zilla the business. He had no idea.
Crossroads Deli.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Can I take your order?
How is it hanging?
Can I take your order, please?
I like eating.
Yeah, I'm glad you do. You called the right place. Number 45.
I like a good thin
Number 40.
pancake.
You like a what, sir? I'm sorry?
I like a good thin pancake.
A thin pancake? We don't have pancakes here, sir. You called a sandwich shop.
I like a barbecue chicken pizza.
I've got a barbecue chicken sandwich special, which we have on Thursdays this week.
I really like Fritos.
I have Dirty Brand chips, which are great, but we don't offer any of the Frito-Lay products. I'm so sorry.
Anything cream cheese based?
I got a bagel and cream cheese. That's about the best I could do for you.
I like fried Brussels sprouts.
Not at a sandwich shop, sir. You know, we got meat, cheese, between bread, some vegetables, but yeah, that's not a vegetable we'll put on a sandwich.
Let me ask you, what was the score of the Aztecs game?
Zilla?
Yeah.
It's Woodsy.
Hey, Woodsy.
Did that voice sound familiar? I'm so sorry.
Come to think of it, it haunts me during my morning commutes and my 10 p.m. broadcast.
I'm so very sorry for pranking you. Can we air this call, by the way?
Why not?
Yes, thank you, Zilla. You're the best. Those are things Ben likes, and we thought let's call Crossroads Deli, best sandwiches in San Diego, my friends. And we've done this bit before, but with Ben pranking people because he's never made a prank call. But I wanted to do yours. Plus, we can give you a shout out for your kick-ass deli, Crossroads Deli, 9085 Judicial Drive, Suite 100, San Diego, California. Everyone, get in there. Get yourself a fresh sandwich from Zilla. Nobody does it better, dude. You're the best.
Oh, thank you, guys. And
get back to work. We're sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Thanks for the call, guys.
Love you, man.
Wait, you want a sandwich, though?
I do. I'll come by for a sandwich right now.
Sounds good.
He's the best.
At least he called before rush hour.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
I don't
was
feel
like
as bad. And he got a good plug for his business.
It was like
too,
10:30. And but Zilla, he's so high energy and he's so positive and he's like trying to be nice because it's like he knew but he didn't know, so he's just trying to play along. I mean, he is he's incredible, dude. Incredible guy with incredible sandwiches.
I hear he's adding thin pancakes to his menu just in case.
Sure, this is a
fried Brussels
This
sprouts.
is anything cream cheese based. I like. Oh God, it's just brilliant stuff. So thank you, Zilla, for letting us wear you. Oh, by the way, I mean, if you're a friend of mine and you own a business, there's a decent chance you're going to get
a call
pranked
soon
at some point. It was just much easier to call somebody that you knew was going to answer the phone. So
anything cream cheese based.
I got a bagel and cream cheese. That's about the best I could do for you.
So the two bits collide. This is great.
Speaking of calls, need a caller for real or fake. If you want to qualify for a trip to Las Vegas, get ready to play our game in about 2 minutes. 833-288-0973. Call now, 833-288-0973. Don't forget the Odyssey app always lets you jump back to the moments you missed on 97.3 The Fan. And who knows, you might get a great moment like Woodsy and Paul just put together there. You can just click to listen on demand, catch a guest, a feature, or a funny Inception bit, just like that. We got you covered. Download the free Odyssey app. Search 97.3 The Fan. Tapped earlier today to get started. All right. Why don't we get some people calling in? Let's just get to it. It's time to play a Throwback Thursday edition of Real or Fake.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. If you can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
We got Raphael on the line. He is playing to try to qualify for our monthly grand prize drawing. It is a trip for two to the Westgate Las Vegas and 2 tickets to Skid Row and Warrant with special guest Paralandra in the International Theater at the Westgate on September 30th. You can get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Check out the $70 million in room renovations at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino, home of legendary Vegas fun. Good morning, Raphael.
What's up, guys?
How you doing, buddy?
You got everyone here. You got Woodsy. He can help you out on Real or Fake. You just need to get at least 4 of the 7 right, and we'll put your name into the drawing. So here is your category today. Last night's ESPY Awards were the first ever without a host. It has something to do with the Hollywood writers' strike. Paulie says it was supposed to be Kevin Hart, but he couldn't do it because he was solidarity with the writers. Yeah. So they went host-free. They had different presenters. I guess Pat McAfee got up, just different ESPN people.
You guys got to earn that check somehow,
so,
dude.
So today on Real or Fake, I'm going to test your knowledge of actual ESPYs hosts. I'll name a celebrity.
Okay.
You tell me if they're ever a real host of the ESPYs or a fake who has never hosted the award show.
I love that our pal Ben, on the slowest day of the sports year, still does his real or fake
sports.
About sports.
All right, Raphael, you ready to play?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, real or fake ESPY host, round one. Will Ferrell.
This is Rafa from the chat.
Hey, Rafa.
Nice.
How you
Hey,
doing?
Rafa.
All
How
right,
you doing,
real or
buddy?
fake? Will Ferrell. Did he ever host the ESPYs?
Oh, it seems like a easy one, but I'm gonna say fake.
Fake is correct.
Oh.
Never hosted the
Surprises
ESPY Awards.
me.
Would be kind of one of the ideal selections, but he did not. All right, that is 1 point for Rafa. Let's go to round two. Dennis Miller, real or fake ESPYs host?
That's got to be real.
That is. He hosted the first two, in fact, in 1993 and 1994. That is 2 for 2. You're well on your way to
We've been doing
victory
this for
here.
30 years.
All right, let's try round three. Let's go with John Hamm, Mad Men. Real or fake, Rafa?
Big sports guy.
Woodsy, what you got?
He's a big sports guy, huge sports guy, but it feels beneath him. It does. I'm going to say fake.
Rafa?
Let's go real. I love
you
you. Woodsy.
bastard.
Oh, wow. You went against Woodsy.
And he's right.
Smart. He's right.
Yeah. Good for you.
What's beneath John Hamm? He's in like every other commercial that's
true.
on television
That's
right
true.
now.
I just don't. I really don't like. I
ESPYs
don't
is
like the
beneath that
ESPYs,
guy?
man. I do not like the ESPYs.
All right.
I'm anti-ESPYs.
You might be an
Weird.
ESPYs host if you're
Oh.
Jeff Foxworthy, real or fake.
Hey, you might be from Bressie.
I don't think that's gonna. Maybe you do a NASCAR one, but I'm gonna say fake.
Fake.
He actually did host the
Oh my
ESPYs in
God.
1997. That's all right. It's only your first miss. You got 3 right.
Golf. I can't believe
All right,
I'll
let's
chase
go,
that little ball around the hole.
Let's go Tony Danza.
Oh,
Real or fake ESPYs
Tony
host?
Close,
Angela.
Tony Danza.
Where's Angela? Tony Danza.
Let's go with fake again.
Hosted the year before Jeff Foxworthy in 1996. Uh-oh, we're now on a little bad run
The
here.
90s were weird.
All right, come on, don't,
Very
all right,
weird.
don't mess it all
Dennis
up.
Miller, Jeff Foxworthy,
And
and Tony
Tony
Danza.
All right, let's go with something more modern. Real or fake ESPYs host? Tracy Morgan. Real or fake, Rafa?
Woodsy, I know I went against you, but I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna jog your memory again.
Don't
Yeah.
do this, man. Do not do this. Is this the last one?
No, there's 2 left. You
All
got
right,
you
I'll
got a
say-
buffer still.
I'll say real.
He says real. You gonna go with him, Rafa, or are you gonna go against
I'm
him?
gonna go with him this time. Yeah.
That's smart because Tracy Morgan hosted in 2019, and that is a win. Congratulations. Rafa, hang on the line. Paul will get your information, get you into the drawing for Las Vegas. Last one for you, Woods. Okay. Kevin Costner.
Real.
No, he did not host the ESPYs. Now, that might be beneath Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
This sports guy,
He
obviously,
loves sports.
but did not host the ESPY Awards. So,
Ooh.
all right, good job, Rafa. You've qualified for the trip to Las Vegas, real or fake. We've got Don't Do This coming up next. Let's see. I had a Don't Do This story. What was it?
Was it cat pervert?
No, you have is that your I'm intrigued, I must say.
Let's save.
Oh, I got one.
Let's save cat pervert.
Remember when we had Ed Orgeron on the show?
Yeah.
I got a Coach O related. Don't do this.
Is he in
story.
trouble again?
It's not his fault.
All right.
Not his fault. But he was
Never
his
is.
name came up yesterday, and it turned into a don't do this.
Do
moment.
your Ed Orgeron. Take us out.
Don't do this. Coming
Oh my
up
God.
next
No, never mind.
on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. We'll be back after traffic. do this.
Listen, if I've said something bad, I mean, tell me I'm a bad boy. Just tell me I'm a bad boy.
Why? Just why?
I get the argument. You don't have to explain it to me. I'm not a moron.
Let me tell you why I am a dumbass.
It's time for Don't Do This.
Don't do this.
On 97.3 The Fan.
By the way, I forgot to mention, while Rafa was winning Real or Fake, that of course it was brought to you by Home Turf. Save time and water with pet-friendly, always green grass, and get a free consultation by calling the team at Home Turf at 888-4SD-TURF or go to sdhometurf.com. You won't know if it's real or fake. It all just looks like grass. All right, I will start Don't Do This with what could actually be kind of a hilarious report. This one made no sense when it came out yesterday. Inside NU, that's Northwestern University's Bradley Locker, reported yesterday that as they're looking for a new coach to replace the fired Pat Fitzgerald, that one name that has popped up and showed interest in the job is none other than former LSU coach Ed Orgeron. Doesn't seem like a cultural fit between Coach O and Northwestern, which is kind of like the Ivy League school of Chicago.
Yeah, it would be an odd.
It just seemed like a very weird match.
Also,
and
one scandalous coach to the next.
Yeah,
Right.
it doesn't. Yeah, that it's.
You're going to hire him, just
no
keep
one
the other
at
guy.
all. So it wasn't a surprise to a lot of people that Bruce Feldman, college football reporter, less than a couple hours later said, "Just talked to Coach O. Says he's expressed no interest in the Northwestern job. It's not something that he is really interested in." However, at thebiglead.com, they kind of wrote something that does make sense. So Ed Orgeron went to school at Northwestern State.
Which is where?
Which is, I think, down near Baton Rouge.
Oh, okay. Makes more sense.
And while they currently have a coach, it's been speculated that, maybe a nice spot if Ed ever wanted to get back into coaching, a smaller school, a place like Northwestern State might be ideal for him, his alma mater, to return to coaching at some point after he pretty much walked away from the game. He was at the top of the game. We had him on, and then it all went downhill for him. Remember?
He's not the first that's come on this program.
Do we have any audio still of Coach O's appearance?
He's not the first.
With
he's
Ben
not
and
the
Wood.
second.
He's not the third. He's
like the 69th.
Yeah. We don't, don't break your back.
He just pretty much, he started enjoying
the fruits
perks
of single,
being a national championship coach a little too much.
Yeah. And he, I believe, was recently single and got himself in a little bit of hot water, as it were. Ben, do you remember, Paulie, do you remember Jolt Cola?
I do remember Jolt.
Yes.
I was in high school when Jolt was a thing. I was too scared to try it. Seemed like it might be dangerous.
I was going to ask you, had you ever tried? I knew the answer, but I was going to ask you anyway. As you can imagine, my friends and I really enjoyed Jolt Cola.
Felt like it was something
14.
for truckers to drink to stay awake on those long overnight hauls,
or 14-year-old kids looking for a little energy boost, like you need it when you're 14. But
double the sugar, double the caffeine.
Yeah.
Wasn't that their slogan?
Yeah, that was their bit. Logan Paul, boxer and wrestler,
recently engaged. I think I saw.
He started this energy drink company with KSI, Paulie, and they did this energy drink. It's called Prime, and they do an energy drink and they do a hydration drink, and it got pulled from shelves, Ben, in Canada because Health Canada said that there's too much caffeine in the energy drink, so they pulled it from the shelves.
Sure, it's not a Mike Tyson
it's
sponsored drink here.
It's 2 cans of Red Bull in one, essentially. Now, half a can of Red Bull sent you to the hospital on a gurney,
in an ambulance. Yeah.
What I wouldn't do.
I don't think I would.
Did nobody
like to try Logan Paul's drink?
Did nobody roll tape on that video? Higgins is
not
down.
Like we weren't at a television station.
I know. Exactly. There's cameras everywhere.
We got an emergency going on in our own newsroom.
What happened to him? Oh, he got half of a Red Bull. Take him to the hospital. So, this is not going to go well for him. But they did pull it from the shelf. He, of course, went to TikTok to defend it and said, listen, your kid, don't drink this one. Drink this one. This one's for hydration. This one's for energy. But the kids are going to go get – if you can buy both, what do you think the kids are going to buy, Logan? They're going to go buy the energy
drink. It's not like
drink.
They require an ID to buy an energy
100%.
drink.
So 2 Red Bulls in one can. And so they have pulled it from the shelves. And we'll see what happens. I have not tried the prime drinks yet.
Quickly before do this, I got the update on Ed Orgeron.
Oh, good.
Now, when did we become a show? That was March of 2018. Okay, so I'm looking it up. Ed Orgeron was with USC a couple times, but 2010 to 2013. So we were not a show then.
Correct. I forgot about this.
This is how we introduced Ed Orgeron a few years back.
Ed Orgeron. Coach O is with us here on Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Coach, it is great to have you on this morning.
Outstanding. I used to listen to you guys going to work every day for 11 years, going up that 405 to the 110 to SC. So I'm glad to be on the show.
No.
I appreciate it.
I like,
but that's a bold-faced lie.
Yeah. Who did he think we were?
I'm not sure.
Who was on a station he could have heard mornings from 2011 to 2015? Who was the morning, like at the old station? Who was the morning?
Might have been like Mason in Ireland or
he
something
thought
like
Ben
that.
and Woods and Mason and
Club
Ireland.
Pilates.
Yeah, could have been that. So he was on the mornings for a little while.
You could
We
never
sound like
confuse
that,
us
a little bit.
with that ever. Thank
It's nice
God
that he tried to, pay us a compliment.
I've been listening to your band for 30 years. We actually just started. First record just came out.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's what I said. It was.
I forgot about that too.
I remember my face went white. I was like, oh no. Anyway, so congrats on the natty.
Don't remember if Coach O ever won an ESPY award, but I got to do this from last night's ESPYs.
As much as
mega doo-doo.
As much as the ESPYs are terrible, you do get some good moments.
You get great moments after the fact.
I played it on the 11 o'clock news. It was my favorite moment of the day. They gave away a ton of awards, including some special awards. The Pat Tillman Award for Service yesterday was presented by DeMar Hamlin of the Buffalo Bills, and he came on, and he was already kind of in tears when he introduced the winners of the Pat Tillman Award.
Please welcome this year's recipient of the Pat Tillman Award for Service, the training staff of the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, yes.
And then he puts his hands in his face.
They walk up.
He's like sobbing.
They just held
they
him
all give him
for like a minute.
Oh, that's awesome. Great
He
moment.
was completely just broken down.
Man,
That was really, really,
beautiful.
really cool.
That's
I
beautiful.
was tearing up watching that.
That is absolutely beautiful.
There was also a newsworthy moment last night at the ESPYs, as long as we're talking about it. Maybe a little corny, but LeBron James got up on stage.
Got that.
Won the award for, I think it was record-breaking performance of the year for LeBron. And, ever since the Lakers were eliminated in the Western Conference Finals by the Nuggets, been some speculation about LeBron's future. I mean, we all thought he wanted to stick around to play with Bronny, but after that game, he kind of made it sound like, I need to think about it, where I am, my age, whether I'm going to come back. He ended the speculation last night at the ESPYs.
The day I can't give the game everything on the floor is the day I'll be done. Lucky for you guys, that day is not today.
I think LeBron wrote that himself, or does he have a team of writers?
Wow, just so you guys
Lucky
know.
for you guys, that day, it's not today.
I today can't give you everything I have, so I'm going to take off. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
He stayed up too late last
on
night.
a Friday. I can't give you everything I got. Today is that day.
He had a cocktail, and now Woodsy is out. He can't give you everything.
Luckily for some of you guys listening, today is that day. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. You're doing great. Keep up the good work. Your son, Jack, is here screening phones, and
he's our new co-host today.
And he has expressed a desire to work in this business. I don't know why, but he has expressed a desire to work in this business. Jack, today's your big break. Come on in, and you can use my Twitter and everything else here on the show account and the chat. And you guys have a great rest of your show. I'm going to go home and grab a little.
All right. Well, what are we talking about next segment, Jack?
Your
What's
big
the
break,
tease? Give
Jack.
us the tease here. What's coming up next?
We got no more prank calls in the hopper.
Well, who's going to screen our calls if we're going to take more phone calls at 833-288?
I'll go do that.
He's got enough in the tank to screen calls.
That I do.
That you have not retired from.
Correct.
All right, we'll be back. That was Don't Do This. We'll be back with more Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
That is something that has reared its head in your life, and you're in your early.
Apparently, Woods wants to get serious for a segment. I was surprised. You were all excited to talk about a cat pervert. Well, you said, why don't we talk about the Padres a little bit?
Yeah.
And give the final evaluation of the first half before we move on to the second half.
Well, it's funny because I wouldn't want us to come in here and do grades, but I'm fine talking about David Schoenfield's grades for the San Diego Padres, right?
He's one of my favorites.
He's mine too. I love David.
He's really good.
He's
and
awesome. He's very fair.
Yeah, man, he gave an unvarnished review of the Padres first half. We'll talk about that coming up here. First, this hour on The Fan is brought to you by South Norte Tequila Cocktails. Real tequila, real juice. Savor South Norte Premium Tequila Cocktails. Sip on a classic margarita, an authentic Paloma, pop the top on the Mexican Mule, or savor the Matador, available at Stater Brothers, Ralph's, and more. Well, I don't think it's going to be too much of a shock that the Padres didn't exactly ace the test for the first half of the season.
Yeah, they were more Woods than Ben, I think, in the first half.
We'll talk about it coming up after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic sponsored by Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Just a couple problems here, guys. One is this crash in the North County southbound side of the 15 right before Felicita. A couple vehicles involved there over the right shoulder. Now a collision on westbound 8 just before Spring Street. Everyone's in the center divide. Coach Quintero and Joe Musgrove's choice. They're different kind of dealerships looking to be a solid community partner and deliver excellent service. Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Chevrolet, find new roads. And Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's number one sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So I think yesterday, or at least one of the last couple of days, the last couple seconds of the show, I threw out a grade for the Padres. Because D actually matched David Schoenfeld's grade that he gave out for the San Diego Padres first half of the season yesterday. And I mean, when you look at the record, in some ways, D is almost generous, given the level of expectation versus the record.
If you're going to go by like typical grades, right? Your C student, me, is average, very average. So I guess below average would be, in fact, D.
Correct.
So
now, with the Padres an average team, an above average, or a below average team? It depends on how you were actually evaluating. By record, they were below average,
correct,
under 500. Falling behind, 6 games back in the wild card race at this point. They are below your average Major League Baseball team when it comes to record. When it comes to production, scoring runs versus giving up runs, they were an above average team in the first half of the season, a plus 38 run differential. They were, I think, second in fewest runs allowed to the Atlanta Braves in the first half of the season. So the pitching was certainly more than above average.
The
pitching was an A. When it comes to the defense, was an A. The hitting was definitely no better than D plus in the first half of the season. They did have some guys who had some nice first halves of the season, but overall they just didn't score enough runs. But when you add an A, and a D, it feels like you should still get somewhere around a B as your overall grade.
Yes.
So in a lot of ways, the first half of the season didn't make a lot of sense for the San Diego Padres. And I'd imagine it was one of the tougher teams to grade for, experts like David Schoenfeld.
Yeah. I think you have to factor in, though, the off the field. On the field, A, pitching, A, defense, right. D, hitting. But the expectations that everybody in the world had for this team going into the season, that absolutely plays a factor.
Yeah, that's the curve that you grade on, right? And it's the negative curve.
The Mets got an F.
Yeah, and
they got the same grade as the Oakland A's. Are the Mets a better team than the Oakland A's?
Yeah,
I think so.
They are, but the expectations were immeasurably higher for them. What did the Cardinals get?
F.
The Royals got an F minus.
Who did?
The Royals.
They were the worst.
My mantra this season has been, well, at least we're not the Cardinals. And that's not really the mantra I was expecting to go into the second half starting was, hey, at least we're not the Cardinals. And I don't know if you guys saw the comments from their GM yesterday. Said, we're trading guys. We are sellers right now. So, man, and no one would have predicted that either. I expected them to have a pretty decent season, and shows you what I know.
I don't know whether I think that's probably the right strategy for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I don't know that you need to go out and announce it to the world.
I mean, he's also the guy that said, "Yeah, hindsight being 2020." When asked about when asked about Wilson Contreras, is like, hindsight being 2020, and it's like, holy crap! And
I guess ultimately you could play it coy in the media and say, "Well, we'll see what happens." You know, we listen to everything. But ultimately, when all of a sudden you get Jeff Passan and other teams reporting that, hey, the Cardinals have been shopping this player and this player and this player, it'll become very obvious that you're sellers. So I guess you might as well just say it and just be upfront about it. Yeah, we're selling players at the trade deadline.
Is the Cardinal way just saying stuff in the media? Is that what the Cardinal way is? Because Ollie Marmol has dragged players publicly. John Mozeliak has dragged players publicly. He's now, tipping their hand. People are calling about Cardinals players as we speak. I'm sure there's a lot of guys on there that could help a team in the race. You just don't know what they're willing to part with. But yeah, what a disappointing season for them. And you do feel like with the Padres, there's still a really big sense of hope. Huge sense of hope.
I mean, back to the Padres grade for a second. The cliche always for baseball is that pitching and defense wins championships.
Yes.
You want to get offense, obviously, but if your team is all offense, you're eventually going to fizzle.
Is that a myth buster now, Ben?
Well, I mean, it seems like it because we clearly gave the Padres straight A's on pitching and defense. What your baseball knowledge would tell you that there's no way the Padres could be a bad team.
You're right.
They could be, maybe not the best team in baseball because their offense struggled a little bit. With that level of pitching and defense, they're clearly doing really well.
They're clearly 8 to 10 games above 500 at least.
They're doing at least that well.
Maybe second or third in the division.
And if they start hitting, then they'll probably be one of the best teams in baseball and legit World Series contenders. So what you know about baseball doesn't really jive with how the first half of the season played out for the Padres, which again makes that grading very difficult. They were well above average in 2 of the 3 facets of baseball. And while they were below average in hitting, they weren't the worst team in hitting.
I mean, look, some of the run differential stuff is a bit of a mirage, as I've called it, because of the serious outburst on one night and then
the one thing, and David Schoenfeld brings it up, that they were the worst stat in baseball was hitting with runners in scoring position.
Yeah, and they've gotten better. They've gotten better.
They were the best team in the last month or so. They've been
the
best team in baseball. We said it would even out. It has started to even out. It's weird. I always assumed that hitting with runners in scoring position was obviously important. I didn't know how absolutely crushing it could be to have a weird, poor first half of the season in that. I mean, did we talk once in spring training about how well the Padres would hit with runners in scoring position?
No, we just thought that they would. I legitimately in my head penciled in 6 runs a game at a minimum. And I know that it's baseball, and I know you're going to run into a buzzsaw here or there. I know that. It's a long season. You're going to run into a guy that is just dialed in, and you can't seem to get it going. I said at a minimum, though, this team's going to average 6 runs a game. They're going to be an offensive juggernaut. The slow starts, whatever the case was, guys not getting off to a hot start, whatever the reasons may be, the clock and the all of that, who knows? But Juan Soto's start was atrocious. Credit to him for battling his way out. Manny Machado's start was atrocious. Jake has stayed pretty bad all season. But yeah, man, I didn't factor in any of that.
Well,
I didn't.
It's not something that there's no drill really in spring training. All right, guys, we're hitting with runners in scoring position today. When you get into the cage, you don't change anything.
Hit the ball hard, man.
You just, you're going up there. You're trying to drive in runs. You're trying to make contact. I mean, it's not something you would ever practice. So it's not something you talk about in spring training as being a potential factor for the season. Yet
I bet we do next year.
Clearly, it's been the most important factor for the Padres, and it's related to their 0-8 record in extra innings, which Schoenfeld brought up as well. Their 5-15 record in 1-run games. That's all tied in to their lack of hitting with runners in scoring position, because in most of those games, they had plenty of chances to turn those games around, turn them into victories with one hit with a runner in scoring position that they didn't get. They get those hits. Let's say they go 4-4 in those extra inning games instead of 0-8, which was very possible. I mean, they had chances in all of those games. They have runners on second starting those extra innings. Instead of 4 games under 500, they're 4 games over 500.
Yeah.
Instead of 6 games out, they're 2 games out in a wild card race. Maybe not where we thought they'd be, but a completely different approach to the second half of the season. We wouldn't be talking about are they buyers or are they sellers?
Yeah.
We'd say clearly they're poised to make a second half run. They're right there. They've got the talent. They're going to add pieces. This team is essentially right where they need to be. That's just those 4 games that they should have, split those extra inning games, and they're right there.
Yeah, it's true.
So I'm not trying to be an apologist for the Padres and say that their D grade wasn't earned. It was.
No, it was.
In many ways, their grade could have been a lot better than, say, the Mets grade. To me, the Mets earned their record and their D grade with how they played. Sloppy baseball.
I'm glad you said that, because
bad defense.
I came in here Monday.
Mental mistakes all over the place that you didn't really see from the Padres in the first half.
You saw some. I saw more guys getting picked off than I feel like ever before. But I'll tell you this. I said this Monday, Ben, when you were out. I told Paulie, I said, man, I'm watching these two teams. The Padres are head and shoulders a better baseball team than the Mets. Head and shoulders.
The Mets are a bad baseball
They
team.
look like a bad baseball team. You want to talk about lack of effort? How many balls dropped in between fielders? Foul balls. Their catcher booted one. Like, I saw so much. Francisco Lindor, that one game, bro, you're a $30 million player. I mean, you're talking plays that they make in adult league. And I get guys are going to have bad days. I get that. But they looked like a bad baseball team. And the Padres really didn't. We had a mental mistake that cost us game 1 by Ha-Seong Kim. Other than that, man, they played really, really good ball and are the far superior team than the Mets. So I feel like there's a lot of hope with the Padres. If I'm a Met fan, I don't feel that same hope at all. Not in the slightest. I don't feel like they're going to turn this around at all.
I mean, you look at the first half of the season, and other than the Dodgers, who swept them back in May, and all those games were fairly close, there wasn't an opponent where you didn't feel like the Padres were the better team on the field for the most part.
We had that Dodger game locked up, and then
the Dodgers were the one opponent that really took it to the Padres. Every other series, I mean, they won the season series already against the Braves, who were the best team. They got an A+. Only A+, best team in baseball. Padres have already won that season.
Glad
series
we got them early,
Braves.
man.
But you got them without Tatis.
Yeah.
They lost those first 2 games to the Rockies, but after that, they outplayed the Rockies. They ended up splitting with the Mets. They lost 2 of 3 in New York, but won 2 of 3 in San Diego. Milwaukee, they lost 2 really close games in that 4-game series that they absolutely should have had, but it wasn't like Milwaukee was head and shoulders above the Padres. They lead the season series against Arizona, the first place team. San Francisco, they swept them in Mexico City. Yep. Obviously, they had that rough 3 of 4, but they should have won all of those games in San Francisco.
One of the biggest problems too, and Mrs. Woods, it's driving her crazy. She watches every pitch of every game too, and she said we played down. We absolutely played down to our competition, and I cannot disagree with that. I think it's a very, very astute point.
Took 2 or 3 from Tampa. Took 2 or 3 from Cleveland.
Right.
I mean, the Pittsburgh series was a nightmare, obviously. And Cincy, they should have won all of those games. I mean, they took 2 or 3 handily from the Reds the first time they played them. Should have swept them and could have swept them in Cincinnati. The Pittsburgh series was a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
2 nightmare
Pittsburgh
games.
and Kansas City. Those were the 2.
Yeah, those were really the 2.
Those were tough.
Now, are you telling me that Pittsburgh and Kansas City are heads and shoulders better than the Padres? They're not. But those were the 2 nightmare series, really, of the first half of the season.
Well, I got to tell you, man, I am massively, massively excited for tomorrow night and watching the Padres get back to the field and see if they can put something together. And you're at the point now too. We're all going to be watching scoreboards. We're all going to be watching what other teams are doing. But I'm pretty elated, man. I'm like pretty giddy for 4 games this weekend, and hopefully it goes in their favor. But they had been playing really, really good baseball. Again, it's going to boil down to the Mannies, the Xanders. Those guys. Xander got that cortisone shot, Ben, on his way out the other day, and he said it's going to be fine. I'm going to be fine in the second half. He gets back to doing how he started the season with, and Manny stays hot. I'm going to say it again, and I probably shouldn't. But if they start doing what they're capable of doing, it is over for this league. We are going to win a ton of games in the second half.
I don't want to give cortisone like magical properties because Xander Bogaerts still has to go out and
do it.
Doesn't hit for him. However, the last time he got one right before the season, he came out on a tear for the first month, and then he got hit by that pitch, and it started getting inflamed, and Xander struggled. There's a good chance we do see a different Xander Bogaerts in the second half of the season. I hope so. Even if it's just mental, like Xander feels more confident because he finally got that cortisone shot. He was clearly jonesing for it the last month and a half. Maybe he just feels more confident. That could make a huge difference.
Nice little break away from each other too, and come back together with one, singular focus, and that's to win as many baseball games as you can in the second half. And tall order. It's a tall order. They got a really, really difficult schedule in August, and this is what you live for, though. I'm as nervous as all get out, but I'm super excited to see what they can do, and we'll see kind of what they're made of.
Here are your other teams that got an A from David Schoenfeld: the Rays, the Diamondbacks, the Marlins, Skip, the Reds, who were probably getting around a C and then played their way into an A the last month and a half, Texas Rangers, and the Baltimore Orioles got an A-. But those are your A grades plus the A+ there for the Atlanta Braves.
Oh man, it's going to be this next few weeks is going to be such a trip. Watching them play, try to play their way into contention, and also try to play their way into maybe keeping the clubhouse as it is right now, Benjamin. Because if they're playing well, sorry, man,
it's a lot of pressure on these first games.
It really is. Like you gotta kind of come out.
And this team,
hot.
For whatever reason, pressure hasn't been their friend this season. They need to make it their friend coming out of the break.
Win it in 9 innings. I mean, that should also be the goal of we don't want to get to extras at all. They just have not been able to get that monkey off their back, man. 0-8 right now in extra innings for this team. So that's going to be important. At some point, you're going to have to win one of these games. You're going to have to break that cycle as well, and know that you can do it. And I am very encouraged with what I saw the last week of the first half. And we'll wait and see, but it should be a lot of fun, boys. Let's all strap in and try to enjoy it as best we can, because everybody else, though, they're also recharged. They're also ready to come out fire into the second. Teams like the Reds, teams like the Marlins are like, dude, it's right here in front of us.
Yeah, Phillies, this is an important series for them as well.
Too. Everyone's got a little tight.
I really need a dub tomorrow.
Yes.
Win or lose, I'll be there all day on Saturday.
Yeah.
I'll feel a hell of a lot better about it, though, if they can win Friday night.
Win that game Friday.
Come on.
Win that game. Who's on the bump again?
Darvish.
Yeah. I mean, you look at this. You look at this
Wheeler Sanchez.
I mean, a great result. 7-3 would be fantastic.
Oh, it would be incredible.
Get them back to 500 when they get home.
Be incredible.
I mean, that should be your goal for this road trip. 7-3. Get back to 500. Come home feeling pretty good about yourself. But it starts. Can't drop 3 or 4 in Philly and think you're going to go 7-3. All right, we'll come back. We're halfway home. It's Ben and Woods. Reset everything and return with more on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we are halfway home on a Thursday, mercifully, here on Ben and Woods this morning. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. To my right, to my left, Benjamin R. Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor.
Not a lot of sports to be sports anchoring at the moment.
No, not really. I like to do a little avant-garde radio from time to time, just kind of stretch the boundaries. Would it be interesting to our audience if I napped in the corner and you guys did the last 2 hours by yourself? Is that fun for the audience, you think?
Don't know.
I'm struggling.
I really am. You're doing fine.
No, I'm like,
you're good.
I just
stayed up a little late. You went to a concert last night. You got no
energy
sleep.
drink. You'd be good to go.
Yeah, I'm struggling.
Everyone.
How do you do this every day?
Everyone goes through days like that, though. Everyone.
I really don't. I'm usually very well rested in here. I go to bed at like 7 o'clock.
Exception to the rule.
I know.
I would say a majority of our listeners, and tier ones, correct me if I'm wrong, but at least once or twice a week, you're kind of dragging at work, right? I mean, that's normal for people to come in at least once or twice a week, feel like I'm just dragging today. Am I wrong about that? Do most people just, hey, 5 days a week, I'm raring to go, everything's good?
I just feel like
I can't imagine
with our
that's
hours,
the case.
I'm always kind of dragging. It's got to be pretty significant to be like, I can barely keep my eyes open.
That's how I feel right now. I just had to put eye drops in. I don't know how you do this every day.
You can't wake up at 3:30 every day and not always be some level of tired.
Of just wiped.
Cranky. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know how you do this. It's messing with my soul right now.
Honestly, I don't know how you go to bed as early as you do. I know that's what you're supposed to do to keep up with the sleep, but I could never.
Even if you didn't,
I couldn't go to this. I couldn't go to sleep for the night. I could take a nap probably at 7:30 when you sometimes go to bed and get back up, but I couldn't be down for the night. If I went to bed at 7:30, I would wake up at 1 a.m. and that'd be it. I'd be done for the night. I can't even on the weekends. I still find myself getting up at like 4:30.
Oh yeah, I get up
and
early
then
too.
I'll eventually work my way back to sleep. But the only time I can't sleep is on weekends at like 4:30 in the morning.
You know what?
I'll be up for an hour looking at my phone. I'm like, okay, please go back to sleep. You don't have to get up for anything.
So it's Ben and Wood's summer break, and we've given all of our guests the week off. Tomorrow we're going to have some guests. Summer break's over because school starts tomorrow night. This is the last day of summer essentially for Ben and Woods, right? And it got me thinking though. Summer break was that time. What was, Ben? This is fascinating to me. When you were a kid, let's say you were 14 or 15, 16, whatever. What was the latest that you slept when you were a kid? Were you're the typical? I know you were not a typical teenager, but like, what was Ben Higgins' summertime sleeping scene? I'm sure you stayed up late. Golden Girls on late. You watched Golden Girls, watched Magnum PI, and then you crashed. And then what time would you get up in the morning?
The latest like I would ever get up.
Yeah. What's the latest you've ever gotten up?
Like the latest I've ever gotten up?
Yeah.
I think let's see, after high school graduation, we had the all-night grad night party, and I went to bed at like 6 a.m.
Yep.
And I think I got up at 11. That was the latest I ever got up.
So you've never slept till noon.
My sleep
Just a robot.
My sleep ins were like 8:30. That's about it.
Even in summer.
Yeah,
even
in
as
summer,
a kid.
yeah,
Now you've got two kids.
I never got past that.
Do they sleep in?
Oh yeah. Yeah, look, yeah. Jack,
you sleep right
Jack
now.
knows he can sleep. he can give a good 10, 12 hours if he needs it, right? Yeah, no problem.
The days I can't even wrap my head around how late I used to sleep. My parents used to come in and be like, "Hey, dummy, it's noon. Are you going to get out of bed?" And I'd be like, "Why do we need so much sleep back then?" Growing, right? Like you're growing. Yeah.
Body needs it.
Body needs it. I wonder if I'll be a ball buster with my kids. I'm sure I will. I'll be in there at 7:30 in the morning.
I'm envious of it. You know, honestly, if they have nothing to do and they can sleep until 11:30 in the morning,
it doesn't bother you.
Jealous.
It doesn't bother you.
Yeah, I mean,
a little.
Really. No, not really. Not really.
It's going to bother me, and it's really going to bother Hannah. I can tell you that right now. You got plenty of chores we can find for you to do. You're not sleeping till noon in our house. It's just not going to happen. But then you realize if they're asleep, they can't bother you. They cannot bother you if they are asleep. And you realize that as a parent, and you're like, this is great. We could peel the curtain back a little bit on what the text you just got, Paulie. Speaking of parents.
Yeah.
We were going to try to get our old pal Matt Strom on the phone tomorrow because they're playing the Phillies. I think we're talking to, is it confirmed tomorrow? for Friday?
Yes.
All right, so we're talking to Chris Kemp, scout, does the scouting with AJ Preller.
Yeah, Vice President of International Scouting, just helped AJ finish up the draft a couple of days ago.
So we're going to talk to him, and we thought, well, it'd be fun to catch up with our pal Matt Strom. I was going to ask him on the air, hey, how are you planning on pitching Juan Soto, to see if he would spill any inside information. I don't think he would have, but I was going to ask him and catch up with Matty. And he's like, dude.
Apparently that's already happened, all the tampering.
Oh yeah, we can talk about the tampering here in a moment, but Matt Strom said, "Dude, I would love to come on with you guys." He goes, "I'm absolutely slammed." He goes, "I'm currently at an airport with my 2-year-old, and she is screaming, and I don't know what to do, so I'm going to have to pass for now." And I just thought, man, absolutely, like I've been there. You gotta 100% pass. Take your time. We'll see you guys when you get here.
I'm liking this matchup, though. Kimbrel had to throw 30 pitches in the All-Star game.
Strom's going to be exhausted.
No sleep at all this weekend. Padres could be getting Steven Wilson back, maybe even Robert Suarez to strengthen their bullpen. It's looking good for the Padres this weekend in Philadelphia.
Yeah, no question.
Keep crying, kid.
Yeah,
keep Matt up as late as possible.
So what was this? I was at the concert last night. Went to see Jason Isbell at Humphreys, and Adam, and you guys were engaged and embroiled in a long discussion on
so at the post-game show on the All-Star game, Juan Soto was sitting there at the desk with Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez and Big Papi, and David Ortiz asked him, "How are you getting back home?" He apparently already kind of knew the answer, because that's why he asked.
Objection leading.
And Juan Soto said something to the effect of, Philadelphia taking care of me. They're going to get me back. So apparently the Phillies, however they kind of chartered to get their all-stars to Seattle, going to give Juan Soto a lift from Seattle directly to Philadelphia. So Juan didn't have to fly back to San Diego, meet the Padres, get on the plane, and then fly all the way across the country. He's just going to get a head start and get to Philly, and he was going to ride on the plane.
It's kind of fun
with the Phillies All-Stars.
Did Blake Snell text him immediately? Yo,
you got room for one more. So he flew with the Phillies. So they're just recruiting him the whole time.
Well, I mean, he's not a free agent.
Right. You got a year. Got a year, but they're telling him, Nick Castellanos in his ear, telling him how great Philly is. Matt Strom.
Kimbrel.
Yeah.
Matt Strom wasn't there.
He was not an all-star.
He wasn't there. He's not an all-star.
No, it was just the all-star. It was just Kimbrel, Castellanos. Is that it? Just those two guys? I mean, I'm sure there was some friendly chatter. Honestly, though, Adam seemed so incensed that the Padres would even allow this. Like,
I'm sure if Bryce Harper wants to recruit Juan Soto, he can shoot him a text anytime.
They know each other well.
And I don't think that recruitment process would even begin this early.
Why? Yeah, tinfoil hat Adam. Why did he get so upset?
I guess he
was like, this has happened before.
At the very worst, Juan Soto has a great time, hits it off with those guys, and maybe it plants a seed later that I could sign with the Philadelphia Phillies.
I think
I may not have considered Philly before, but maybe it could be a decent place for me. I guess that's
close to DC.
That's the worst case scenario possibly.
That said,
for the Padres,
they were in the World Series last year. He knows that he
already knows. He's played in Philly a ton.
Yeah,
it was in the division essentially, and he knows those guys very well. So here's the question he asked. I was offered $440. I turned that down. You guys do $450? If there's not anybody on this plane that give me $450 in a year, then I'm not, we'll see what happens. I mean, I think whoever gives him the most money, if the Padres don't re-sign him, that's probably who he's going to go play with.
I can't imagine Juan Soto goes to Scott Boras and has the conversation.
Hey,
I know we were looking for $500 million, but Nick Castellanos was really cool.
I just had the best flight.
$300 million in Philly.
I just had the best flight ever, Scott. And I need you to go ahead and get the strings, start pulling the strings on that. Adam was very upset about it. I was scrolling through it, but I'm not going to engage. You can't feed him any, and you guys were feeding him last time.
Now, if he was heading into his free agent season,
do they do that in baseball? Do they enforce tampering in baseball?
They should, yeah. I mean, even Freddie Freeman, when was asked about Shohei Ohtani coming to the Dodgers, he wouldn't bite. Mic'd up during the All-Star game. Yeah. Can you imagine if you got fined for tampering while you were mic'd up during the All-Star game? Oh yeah, we'd love to play with Shohei.
Literally wear a wire.
You've been fined. Wait, you made me wear this. I can't be tampering when you ask the question, but I mean, it is technically a rule. You're not supposed to be actively recruiting players who are not currently free agents that are attached to another roster at the time.
I'm sure it happens all the time.
Of course it does.
Ben has coffee with our competition once a week and just says that they're just going for coffee to catch up over sports. So, I mean, you just never know.
It's not some magic thing that, like NBA free agent contracts are signed 5 minutes after the negotiation window begins. Now they have that legal tampering period. So at least it looks a little bit better when someone signs at 12:06 a.m. on the first day of free agency. Really, you negotiated a $250 million contract in 6 minutes. You must have really good agents and lawyers to get that all done in 6 minutes. So now they do the legal tampering period for a few days. So it doesn't look quite as bad, but it's always going on.
There was a story a couple years ago we did about, wasn't it like a couple of the Royals relievers? The team didn't send them a plane and they had to jump on with somebody else. I can't remember exactly what it was.
The A's were in Houston.
Yep.
For the final series before the All-Star break.
And they had
and the A's had one representative for the All-Star game, and their cheap-ass owner, shocker, had him flying commercial
or something, and they're like, the Astros like, just jump on our
You're
plane,
going with
dude.
us,
You're coming
buddy.
with us. It was cool.
Him, Altuve, Bregman, whoever was on the All-Star team for the Astros.
I need
they
friends
got on
like
the
that.
plane.
Now, if that's your MO and you're showing your player, hey, we're cheap, we're not going to pay for charters, which is not the Padres' MO. Peter Seidler, I'm sure, provided more than adequate transportation for Juan Soto to get to the All-Star game. Then
It's more like, it makes sense.
Yeah, you don't want to look like, oh, these other organizations are so much better run than ours and more generous than ours. That's not a worry for the San Diego Padres.
No, not at all.
This is just a logistics.
Yeah, logistics.
Why? I mean, why? It's good for the environment. Why have two charter planes when you're all going to the same one place and can much easier just hop on the same plane?
So Juan Soto is currently in Philadelphia, got there, I guess, yesterday.
Yes, and the rest of the Padres, I believe, are leaving probably soon in the next couple of hours to fly out, and we'll be there for the game tomorrow.
What time's game time?
3 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah. 2 o'clock pregame show. Here, we won't have to wait that long. One of the first games of maybe the first game of the second half of the season will be the Padres and the Phillies on Friday afternoon. Beautiful.
All right. Well, I'm out of gas. I'll see you guys
tomorrow. Woodsy has run out of gas.
Jack?
What about cat pervert?
I do want to do cat pervert.
Haven't gotten to that yet. You teased it like an hour ago. And I don't even know what the story is. I've got no idea.
Well, peel the curtain back. How about 5:45 this morning? Hey, have you guys seen this cat pervert video? Sorry, what?
I saw it trending, and I said cat pervert, and people were tagging us in cat pervert. I said, well, I've got to know what this is. So we'll play it for you next.
All right. With Ben and Woods after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
Time.
Good. I was just going to say, I think we have the record now. Longest consecutive San Diego sports talk radio without a guest. We're going on now probably 10 hours almost. Yeah.
Very proud of us.
That could be like a DiMaggio-like streak that is never broken in San Diego sports talk history.
I'm very proud of us. Very.
I do have to remind you that all guests, if they ever return,
if they ever come back,
will appear on the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad fan hotline. Save money the right way with Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. Visit them today in the Carlsbad Auto Mall. Chevrolet, find new roads.
You'll get your precious interviews back tomorrow.
Yes.
Who has time for guests when Woods wants to talk about cat pervert?
It's not me. It's the nation. The entire nation is talking about cat pervert. I didn't know what it was. I missed all of this last night. But, Paulie, you've heard the audio. What the hell happened?
I still don't
All right,
really
so
know.
I saw it trending last night and this morning, and I said, well, we got to find out what exactly is going on. There was a neighbor dispute, which happens. My neighbors loathe me. Go figure. But there's one neighbor's cat continues to spend time in the other neighbor's yard, and that has caused a problem.
So without the video aspect here, the neighbor that is angry in the audio we are about to play, it's his cat that keeps wandering over to the neighbor who is filming the video.
Right.
And this guy is going ballistic.
He's losing his mind.
You've seen all those videos.
The cat owner is going.
Yeah, so is he mad at his cat?
No, he's mad at the owner, the neighbor.
The neighbor, okay.
For like taking his cat in, I guess. I don't
like taking
know.
care of his cat. Okay.
Let's go to the audio.
I just want to be clear. You're upset because we made friends with your cat, sir? No, I'm not. I'm
our cat.
You understand?
Our cat.
I'm not even in my yard right now. What am I doing? The gate's open.
He's standing like on the sidewalk.
Okay.
It's Southern California neighborhood. Houses are pretty close together.
It's weird that he's mad about that. Hey, stop being friendly to my cat.
He's jealous because his cat likes the neighbor more than he likes him. Is that what I'm getting
standing
here?
right on the sidewalk over the fence, and this guy is just losing his mind.
He's losing. He's kind of got like long. He's an older guy. He's got like kind of long, stringy, whitish hair with a beard. He looks
the part.
He looks unhinged.
Is this one of those situations? Because it does happen. Like if you own a dog, and you're trying to train the dog to be good, and then someone comes with a bunch of treats and gives the dogs the treats, and you go, no, we don't do that with our dog. And now the dog likes that person better than you. You're going to be kind of mad. We're trying to train our dog, and you're ruining this for us. Are they trying to train the cat?
Potentially. Let's hear.
Okay, let's continue.
I want to know where the pervert comes in.
You're unreasonable people. You're holding our cat.
How? I'm not even in there. I want you to explain how.
If you would go in your yard and say, Mercury, go home. Don't come in our yard anymore.
She will not listen. She's a cat. She doesn't speak English.
Oh, really? This doesn't mean go home?
Oh, really?
No. Huh?
Hand signals don't mean anything. It's a cat, dude.
Really? Okay. All right.
Really?
Well,
Okay,
we'll
hold
have
on.
the police.
Hold on one second. Okay. I am not a cat owner. You are.
I am.
You're a cat owner.
Yeah.
Can you communicate with your cat at all? I know, like with my dogs, I can say things and they will respond to it. If I say,
when I was a kid,
if I say treat, they run into their crate and I give them a treat. If I say sit, after like a minute or two, eventually they will finally actually sit. So they do understand words. I've never seen a cat necessarily respond to human commands.
They do.
They
I mean,
do sometimes.
I've got Tiger and Manny, and I'll say, and God, this is be embarrassing, but
go ahead.
How you get Manny is just Manny, Manny. That's how you get Manny, and he runs out, and then he'll go like, Tiggy, come here, and they
do respond to their name.
It's not 100% of the time of like, yeah, either not super obedient, but when you're laying in bed and you want to take a nap and you want to cuddle your cat, you go, man.
So they might come to you.
Yes, correct.
But you can't say anything to make them go away.
Heal or
Right. Go to the other room.
Go to the other room. No.
Go to the next door neighbor's yard.
No.
Go back to your own house. They don't respond to that sort of thing.
Correct.
All right. Well, we'll have the police department figure it out.
Absolutely. Great idea.
Right. No, so the cat doesn't eat and drink anything over there, right?
No.
Oh, no, never. Right? No, never.
No.
No, never.
Never.
So he thinks that they're plotting. He's plying the cat with little treats,
Yeah,
and
like
water.
I said, they're treating their cat better than he gets treated at home.
I'm
so,
waiting. I can't wait for the
I believe it's about to
that
get
cat
good.
is on the prowl for better treatment.
Okay.
Oh no, never. Right? No, never.
No.
No, never.
Never. Yeah, never.
Yeah, you cat pervert.
I have done nothing to bring the cat. This dude's lost.
Pervert.
This dude, he's lost it. He's lost it.
Just flipping them off.
It's our cat.
He's lost it.
Pause.
He's
So does he think he's doing seductive poses by the window, topless, to get Mercury next door? Like
He's just Buffalo
blah, blah, blah,
Bill.
boom. Like
He's a cat groomer.
he's grooming.
He's
maybe.
grooming the cat.
Holy crap. That dude. It's amazing. Neighbors, dude. Like there's neighbor horror stories for days. That's up there. Cat pervert. He's now, what does he think he's doing with the cat?
He's lost it. He's lost it. Oh no.
We're calling the police because you're harboring our cat.
Harboring a cat.
Harboring our cat.
Is that a crime? What the hell?
Cat pervert.
I'm a cat pervert?
Yeah. You know what? There's a crime about you harboring my cat.
What crime is that?
Against the law.
What crime is that?
It's called harboring an animal.
I can understand being angry if my cat was in your yard.
Right.
You're angry because your cat is in my yard.
You could just send my cat home.
No, I can't. I don't speak cat, dude.
I'm not a cat.
So the best audio I've ever heard. If I'm being completely honest with you, that did not disappoint in the slightest.
Now that makes sense at the end. If someone else's pet continues to get into your yard, you could
get a
be
little
upset.
pissed
Maybe,
off.
hey,
Yeah.
can you keep your animals on your own property?
Correct.
Find a way so they're not
That's reasonable.
they're not getting into my yard and
Doo-doo in my yard.
Exactly. I don't have any kitty litter. It's all over the place. So keep your cat away from my house. This is the other way.
Right?
No.
Oh no, never. Right? No, never.
No.
No, never.
Never. Yeah,
Yeah,
never.
you cat pervert.
Let's save that forever. Number one, cat pervert. We'll
Cat
use it
pervert.
at some point. Keep it fresh, like at the top of the list for something. Maybe when we're talking about Tony Gonsolin of the Dodgers, perhaps.
Why?
Cat pervert.
His sarcasm. That was epic sarcasm. No, never. No.
He's luring the cat over the fence. Candy in the van.
So the cat doesn't eat and drink anything over there, right?
No.
Oh no, never.
Give him half a beer.
No,
Yeah.
never.
Half a beer. He plied my cat with vodka and Sunny D cocktails, and now my cat
He's lost it.
will
He's
not come
lost
home.
it.
Cat pervert.
And like the taunting, the guy was just about to.
The
like,
video, the
explode.
audio's great. It's top tier. The video's 1,000
You go to
times
that
better.
guy's house, you're just going to see a room full of balls of yarn and
yeah,
all kinds
cat
of
toys,
yes, scratching
Cat
posts
pervert.
and
scratching
cat
posts. So fantastic.
He's a cat pervert.
Cat
That's what
pervert.
cat perverts do.
You know what? I can understand why it was trending, and I'm very happy that it was. And I'm very happy that we played that audio. That really made my day.
Cat pervert.
I'll be thinking about that all day. Cat pervert.
All right, we will take a timeout.
That's amazing.
Come back. Our phone lines are open. You can get by our screener, Jack. That is your opportunity to get in with Ben and Woods. Talk about anything we've discussed. The Padres grade for the first half of the season. Cat perverts,
Catnip.
whatever
Cat
is on
pervert.
your mind.
Catnip all on top of the fence, like big fat rails of
Just
catnip.
lines of
What does
catnip.
catnip actually look like?
It looks like
Weed.
weed. Yeah, weed, like shredded up like mulch. There's piles of it all over my garage. My wife puts it out there for the cats, and then they go crazy when they see
A
it.
little nip.
They get super stoned on it. It's very weird.
833-288-0973. It's Ben and Woods
Cat
on San
pervert.
Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, breaking news here, Benjamin.
A revelation. A revelation.
A revelation? A revelation. It's my favorite book of the Bible, Revelations. It's very, very terrifying, the book of Revelations. Rubgi. Revelations. I think you can add that one to the lexicon, Paulie. Revelations. I can't start to say. Cat Pervert apparently is a local.
Like local.
Like local.
Like San
Cat
Diego.
Pervert.
So this occurred June 24th, 2023. This is on Nextdoor. Almost Backdoor. Different website. This is on Nextdoor, I believe. It's
Neighbors only.
Only neighbors.
Only neighbors.
Neighbor Hub.
Catpervert.com. It says, my neighbors have a very friendly outdoor cat that likes to hang out in my yard. The cat is free to come and go as it pleases. For some reason, they don't like that and decided it's my job to tell the cat where and where not to go. Before I started recording, they said I was manipulating the cat by befriending it. They did end up calling the police after I stopped recording, but the police almost immediately hung up on them. The cat was right back in my yard the next morning. Local, San Diego. And Paulie was saying,
what? There's a crime about you harboring my cat.
You're working the police officer dispatch. It's one of those things where if they got me on the wrong day, you know how it would work. Like
911, what's your emergency?
There's the guy next door has my cat. Oh, he kidnapped your cat? Not necessarily. My cat hangs out in his yard. And you don't like that, sir? No, he's manipulating. He's a cat pervert. I need you to come and arrest him. And it's just, and for me, it's immediate disconnect. I'm out.
He's
harboring the cat. This is amazing.
Benny, picture camera.
I want as much info on cat pervert. Cat pervert recorder guy. If you're a listener, please call in. 833-288-0973.
Well, Eric wants to talk.
Neighbor filming. If you're a tier 1
cat,
that's the one I want to talk to. I don't want to talk to the guy.
I would talk to either.
I would talk to either.
I really would.
Haven't we had enough unhinged calls in the last week?
Let's talk to Eric. Maybe he's one or of either of those
Eric,
guys. Are you one of these participants or no?
A cat pervert?
No. Yeah.
I'm not registered.
Okay.
But
cat pervert.
Don't know.
But I'm wondering if maybe AJ Blake Snell or even Manny would call Nick Castellanos or Craig Kimbrough a cat pervert for hanging out with Juan on the plane or on the way back to Philly.
It's the same.
They're harboring.
It's the same
Juan
thing.
Soto on their plane.
They're like, dude, we just gave him a ride. He needed a ride. And they're like,
they gave him Juan
keeps
Soto
going
treats.
He keeps going into your plane. Maybe the grapes that we talked about earlier.
Grapes, yeah.
There's grapes everywhere, and he wants to get on. It's a good call. It's a good good idea.
Please
Please
be careful.
Please,
somebody out there knows.
Somebody knows the guy that was filming the other guy, and I want to talk to him almost more than anything. I need it. 833-288-0973.
No. Oh no, never. Right? No, never. No, never.
Never. Yeah, never.
Have you ever had think on this as we go to traffic, but have you ever had like a run-in, a bad experience with a neighbor? Paul, Woods, think on that, and we'll come back. And hey, if you've got a bad neighbor nightmare story,
cat pervert,
share it with us. 833-288-0973.
It's the day to stretch your legs, right?
Perfect. We'll come back after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by the all-new Premier Buick GMC of Carlsbad. Got a few problems here, guys. One of them is a stalled car on the northbound side of the 805 past the 52. It's blocking the slow lane. Still clearing an accident westbound 8 just before Spring Street. Everything's in the center divide. On the coastline, southbound 5 past Tamarack, there is a stalled vehicle blocking the slow lane. Up ahead, some defective traffic signals causing a bit of confusion on the Loma Santa Fe off-ramp of southbound 5. Premier Buick GMC of Carlsbad with all new 2023 GMC Sierra 1500 elevation package trucks, $4,000 off MSRP. Over 15 in stock to choose from. Stop in or shop online at carlsbadbuickgmc.com, a proud member of the Premier Carlsbad family of dealers. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
We have dogs, and every once in a while, one of them, when she goes outside, there'll be another dog walking by or in the neighbor's yard, and she'll bark for a couple of seconds, ruff, 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 and I'll say, Lanny, get back inside. We have a neighbor just down the hill who has gotten just incensed. He hears the dog barking, and he'll scream up from his patio, "Keep your dog quiet!" I'm going, I'm trying here. I mean, it's a dog. A lot of neighbors have dogs. They all bark in the neighborhood occasionally. It's 11 in the morning. It's not 2 a.m. It's not incessant, like, okay, just 20 minutes constantly. Some neighbors, they keep their dogs in the garage while they're at work, and you hear them barking like all day.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah, that's annoying.
That's terrible.
That's not good pet owner behavior. But every once in a while, like once every couple of weeks, the dog gets out and for 12 seconds barks at the dog, and you get the neighbor yelling out, "Shut that dog up!" It's like, come on, man. It's a dog.
Do you lean your head over and say something?
No. I just try to get the dog back inside and be done with it. I don't really want a confrontation.
Well, it's
with
it's dicey these days, right? Because you can't just walk up and be like, "Hey, man, can we have a conversation about this?" Because you never know what's going to happen. So I'm with you there. I never have, surprisingly, not to my recollection. I haven't.
No neighbor trouble.
No, I mean, we have like my boy Ron that lives across the street, Tier 1 Ron, listens every single day. Love you, Ron. Best neighbor I've ever had by far, and he's across the street. But I never really any problems with neighbors. Not that I can remember.
Yeah, our neighbors are really friendly. Mostly the ones
of
that
the
are
time.
there are always like inviting us to barbecue, street parties all the time. I'm usually working, so I don't get to go. I feel bad that I don't participate as much, but we get great neighbors. Tyler, Tier 1 Tyler says he's got a story about a neighbor. Tyler, welcome to Ben and Woods. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey, buddy.
So this was I was probably less than 10 years old, and my brother was a couple years younger than that. But my parents had a common driveway with two houses at the bottom of it. Probably went down about 500 feet or so. And I don't know what caused the interaction, but the neighbor on his side of the driveway all the way down would throw out pebbles or rocks. So if we were skateboarding or anything like that, he purposely tried to hurt us.
Oh.
Yeah. And so my parents, tried to figure out, I don't know what caused him to do that. I heard he was a little crazy.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Clearly.
And so tried to work it out. And then my mom had a couple nightmares of him burning down the house, and so then we moved.
Holy smokes!
Had a vision.
Vision,
we get out of
and
this.
yeah, that's a. Can you imagine kids are skating outside your house, and you take some gravel, and you spread it out there so that a kid that's 10 years old is skateboarding, having a good time, being outside, doing something healthy, doing something constructive, and you're like, nope. And neighbors are such busybodies. Well, I mean, the neighbors we had when we lived down close to the beach. I mean, the one neighbor tried to break in our house at 4 o'clock in the morning because he saw my wife working out. I'd say that was a problem. I chased him down the alley with a gun. So I'd say that's a slight
little
neighbor
bit,
problem.
yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, no, nothing like that. That is people are so awful, dude. That's such an awful thing.
Yeah, we got Cesar. Cesar, how you doing, man? We're welcome to Ben and Woods.
Hey, pretty good. I have a little cat story. Our former cat, Sabrina, not my cat, my daughter's cat, she moved to Arizona, Prescott Valley, and for like a year, and she bought an expensive cat. She moved back home, unfortunately, and she brought this cat, a young cat, and then so it was, old enough to, we don't like cats in the house, so the cat was roaming outside. She ended up going to the neighbor's house. They started taking the cat into their house and feeding it. Yeah, harboring. And eventually the cat would hang out there all the time. And we asked them, hey, can you not take it in the house? Because we're trying to train the cat to stay in our house, our yard. I know they roam around, but they were taking it in the house. And they said, well, we're just feeding. I go, well, yeah, we're trying to train it to, get the mice and stuff at our house. And my daughter was bummed out because she paid a lot of money. Eventually that cat ended up hanging out there all the time. And then
became their cat.
About two more years later, that cat ran away from their house and moved to the other side of our neighbors 2 houses down, and now that cat lives outside there, and it's still living after like 10 years.
Oh my God.
You see it driving by, you're like,
so this
I remember
is
you.
kind of telling us that cat pervert is not entirely unjustified, that it is possible that people have harbored cats and eventually stolen cats
He's saying
from neighbors.
He's saying he didn't. He's saying I didn't do anything. I don't feed it. I don't do anything. But
Just
apparently,
comes over and hangs out.
And if you do see a cat in your yard, you think your natural inclination is to take care of it because maybe it's missing and you feed it. I know we've done that before, but I didn't know I was a cat harboring pervert. So apparently I am. Giant cat pervert, cat harborer.
Well, let's keep it rolling here. We got
more people are calling.
Yeah, Mike. Mike says he actually was the bad neighbor in a situation. Mike, good morning. Welcome to Ben and Woods.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, buddy.
So I was about 10, and there was about 8 of us, all neighborhood kids, lived close to Hoover High School.
Yeah, no Hoover well.
At the time, there was a kind of by like the trees area, there was like a dirt lot that had a bunch of like muddy rocks and just, a lot of mud that we could throw. And there were these apartments that we were throwing these on top of the apartments just to like hit the shingles and watch them disperse. Well, one time we threw like a large rock and it really did some damage. And so the neighbor stuck his head out and heard it. And he's like, hey, kids, like, stay there. Don't go nowhere. Thinking that he's going to call the cops. We dispersed and we see him flying around the corner and he stops, but gets out of the car and gives us like 3 bags of balls, basketballs, footballs, anything you can think of. And he's like, I'm not going to call the cops, but please go be productive and stop throwing rocks because you guys could damage someone's property.
Wow. So what a lesson.
How about that?
I love that.
I love that story. I was very nervous. I thought he opened the door. He ripped off a bunch of rounds at it. I was really getting nervous about that. He gave them sport balls, different various sports balls, and said, go do something else, dummies. I like that too.
I mean, that's an after-school special.
It really
right
is.
there. That's
really
fantastic. What a great story for Mike.
Great story, Mike.
And what a great
call.
way, an unexpected way to handle that. You see someone, they're doing some damage, you can call the cops, get them in trouble. No, we're going to redirect and send them off with obviously made an impression on Mike to this very day.
No
Still
doubt.
thinks about the guy who was very much justified in calling the cops or
being pissed.
Yeah, calling their parents, getting them in trouble, and said, not going to call anyone. Here's some basketballs and footballs. Why don't you go do something a little more healthy and productive than throwing muddy rocks and doing damage to neighbors' buildings? That was very cool.
That's a very, very good story. Yeah, apparently giving constructive advice is better than just screaming at your kids. A lesson for me to learn as a dad. Do something constructive instead.
Yeah, Mike missed our hooliganism week last week.
He really did. That would have
stories.
That would have covered
what you did
now.
as a juvenile delinquent.
I want if anybody knows the local cat pervert guy, please have them call us. I'm going to reiterate that fact: 833-288-0973.
The power of radio.
Somebody knows it. I'm serious. Somebody knows that person because again, it was
someone
local.
must.
Somebody's got to know. Like, oh, that's my buddy Fred.
Neighbors, friends.
That
are aware of who the guy who's filming the.
Yes, the sarcastic guy. All right. Good.
Well, they were both kind of sarcastic.
It's great.
One was justifiably so, the other was unjustifiably so.
Eric in the chat says, "Is this what the show's like during the off season?" I love it. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. And yes, that's exactly right.
Very
so
much,
fun, man.
Very much so.
It is. It's very loose, and great calls made it a lot better.
Absolutely. Jed, hey, we got a couple more minutes here. Jed, you're next up here on Neighbor Talk on Ben and Woods.
Neighbor, cat, or whatever you want.
Good morning, boys. How you doing?
Good, pal.
It's a neighbor story, and the fact is they were the best neighbors ever, but they were just a little on the weird side.
Okay.
I'm sure you guys have had some of those. But so it was Memorial Day weekend. I was probably 14 years old. We were up in Chino Hills all weekend playing travel baseball. Get home on Monday, 3-day weekend, ask the neighbors, hey, we're going to barbecue. Would you guys like to come over and hang out in the pool? Our neighbors lean over the fence and go, no, it's all right. We swam over in your pool this weekend while you guys were gone.
All right, let's talk etiquette here. Is that
no joke? No joke. That lady said, yeah, in fact, we skinny dipped in the hot tub. And my what all the hair was in the pool.
Oh, come on, Gently! God bless.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I know it sounds kind of weird, skinny dipping in the neighbor's pool. And it is.
You've done this?
No, but is it really any different if you're wearing a bathing suit or not? You're
Not
still
really.
You're
Well,
still
you're-
getting in with all your body. It's
Yeah.
are you really protecting the pool from everything?
We are
by wearing a
weird.
suit?
We are weird about nudity in this country. You're
Yeah.
right. That's an astute point because
No, don't
it's
don't relieve yourself in the pool either way.
either way. But your board shorts that you're wearing now,
Yeah, they're
or
not-
your bathing suit, as you called it.
It's not like it's some sort of hermetically sealed chamber.
No,
prevents the water
right.
from touching anything below the
Not a
belt.
wetsuit.
No, it's even a wetsuit, the water still kind of permeates everywhere.
Do you know what I would do to have a neighbor that had a pool and said, Woodsy, we're going out of town this weekend. There's insurance liabilities and things you need to worry about, I'm sure, if you have a pool, but that would be the best.
I mean,
because you don't have to maintain it, you don't have to clean it.
Yeah.
And you could just go use it at your leisure when they were out of town.
If in some ways, if I was the neighbor, I'd be like, I'm glad someone's getting use of my pool. We're paying for this pool.
Well, you don't feel the
guilty
same way about your couch,
I
though.
feel guilty about that's true. I feel guilty about not using it enough. That's one of the reasons why I never really get my own pool, because I would stare at me for I haven't been into that in weeks. I need to get in the pool because I'm paying for this thing, but it's cold and I don't really want to get in the pool right now.
I always tell Hannah all the time, if we had a pool, I'd use it every day.
You would
like,
not.
A jacuzzi I would use every day.
I had one, and I did, and it was spectacular. I used it almost every single day of my life. It's kind of beating though. Yeah, it's a lot. Everything's expensive, but the pool, I do feel like I would use it at least. I feel like I'd dive in at least once a day.
Then we had that story about the old couple who the pool cleaner came at the wrong time and they started shooting at him. Do you remember that one?
No.
Yeah, that was just happened recently. Guy saw someone in his backyard, didn't realize who it was, shot him, and he didn't die, fortunately, but it just turned out to be their pool cleaner who was a little late.
It was probably why you don't go down to the neighbor's house. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Without warning.
Without warning of I would have a hard time though. The guy screaming, I would have a hard time not sticking my head up over the fence and saying something bro, settle down, relax down there. It's just a dog. He barked for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare. Yeah, it's tough.
If he had brought my dog a bag of basketballs and tried to redirect here's
I'm not mad anymore. I'm not mad anymore.
Use of your time than barking. Here's some basketballs.
I brought you this satchel of sports balls. Please go do something constructive and athletic instead of barking out of the yard. That was great. Hey, thank you guys for calling in. Those stories were spectacular calls here.
Well played, everybody.
I love it.
Don't forget, Padres, the second half of the season begins tomorrow, and you can still get live coverage of every Padres game on 97.3 The Fan through the Odyssey app. Wherever you are in the San Diego area, you can listen to every pitch of every Padres game on Odyssey. Just download the free Odyssey app and search 97.3 The Fan to get started. So we've got 3 o'clock tomorrow, 2 o'clock pregame show, doubleheader on Saturday.
Yep.
With the early game is at what is
9 a.m. Is there 10?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock for the first game, and then it's not a true doubleheader. It's day 9, then 4:05 for the second game.
Paulie,
10 a.m. and 4:05, and then 10:35 on Sunday.
There's a decent chance Paulie makes me vomit in the neck.
Ooh.
I could vomit on the
Reindl
radio
Report
today.
is coming up
sorry
next.
about that.
Be back with more Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan. Forgot to wish you both a very happy National Beans and Franks Day.
Today is National Barbershop Music. We did this bit last year, didn't we? Barbershop Quartet. We had a great time. We're not doing it.
What was my barbershop quartet name? Do we remember?
I remember it was really good though.
I can't remember.
The Ben Hoggins Quartet. What was it?
No, I don't think that's what it was. And maybe Tier 1 came up with it. I wish I could remember our own show as well as some of our listeners do.
No kidding.
Real or fake people we've interviewed with me is always a fun game because I am no idea. I've never talked to that guy before. Woodsy, we've had him on 4 times.
We relived our Ed Orgeron interview this morning, but I had completely forgotten that Ed thought he knew us and had listened to us for years.
Dang, I listened to you guys for 10 years.
Coach at USC.
You did.
That's not us, Coach. Wasn't us.
And I doubt he listened to me on FM 94.9 giving away iPads in the morning and you wherever you were at the time. Like, I don't know. It was awesome, though. Barbershop Quartet Day. What did we do last year? We always remember we wanted to get a barbershop quartet and we couldn't find one. Apparently, that's nobody likes to do it much anymore.
Apparently not. Bump a bump a bump a bump bump a dang 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 a dang ding dong ding blue moon dip 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 blue moon dip 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 blue moon dip 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 bump a bump a bump a bump bump a dang 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 ding dong ding blue moon.
I just peed my pants a little bit, I think. I remember that day. Ben and I were talking. Paulie was out of commission for like an hour over at his.
What are you doing over there,
like,
Paulie?
Hey,
don't worry about it.
I'm like, lock in. And he's like,
oh, I'm locked in.
Give me a minute. And he played it. And I'm like, oh my God, it was working.
Bump a bump a bump a bump bump a dang 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 a dang ding dong ding blue moon. Dip 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 blue moon.
Make my head hurt.
Dip blue moon. Dip 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 bump a bump a bump a bump bump a dang 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 ding dong ding blue moon. Those are all Ben. That's my actual voice there at the end.
Oh my God, my head. I had one drink. I said, what? My head is pounding. That just made it way worse, Paulie. I hate you for that. Yeah, we lost him for an hour that day.
Anthony the Butcher remembers our quartet name. That bit that we just did, that was a few months ago. But a year ago today, we were talking about barbershop quartets. We came up with, it was the 3 of us and Adam.
Yeah, I remember that picture.
We were the Town Pounders.
The Town Pounders. That's what it was. Welcome to Pound Town. We're the Town Pounders.
Town Pounds. Holy crap, dude. That was so good, Benny. That is so good. His. If you missed that show, Ben said that when he was growing up, one of your life's goals was to be able to do that part
of the Blue Moon song.
And you
know the Blue Moon song that I referenced. That one.
Yeah.
For some reason, I made it my mission to be able to sing that one. The
weird
the doo-wop version of that.
Yeah, we're like, okay, let's stop everything.
All right, everyone.
Bump a bump a bump a bump bump a dang 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 a dang ding dong ding blue moon dip 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 blue moon dip 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 blue moon dip dip bump a bump a bump a bump bump a dang dang ding dong ding blue moon.
His parents
look at
it. His parents come in. Benny, you going to the school dance tonight? No, I'm working on my Blue Moon. If you guys need me in my room. It's so good, dude. You nailed it. You nailed it.
Thank you.
You're really good at it.
So again, it is a Barbershop Music Appreciation Day here on July 13th.
If there are any of you still around, I appreciate the hell out of you.
Woods wants you in
I
studio
want you
at some point.
Bro, I
Maybe
want
for
you on
the
staff.
Christmas extravaganza. Yeah.
I want you answering phones, do whatever we can do. We'll put you to work here, but you have to wear your outfit. I think you guys are spectacular, and I really appreciate what you do.
It all makes Paulie makes it all sound so good. He also gives us some extra headlines each day. Let's get to it
and get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah?
All right.
All right.
All right.
Gentlemen, unfortunately, let's start with a bit of a sad note.
Oh.
Just get it out of the way. But our buddy Dickie V saw this headline yesterday.
Woodsy, have we or have we not had Dickie V on this show?
We have.
Yes, we have.
That's real.
Several times. That was real. Man, he has gone through it for the last few years, different types of cancer, and he's beaten them, and he's come back to the broadcasts and studio work for ESPN. And yesterday on ESPN, it says ESPN analyst Dick Vitale says he has vocal cord cancer. And he's going to need another 6 weeks of radiation to treat this. He wrote in a statement that he posted on his Twitter page, I plan to fight like hell to be ready to call games when the college hoop season tips off in the fall. He's 84 years old. He said last month his past issues on his vocal cords have returned, and he would be on a total voice rest for at least 6 to 8 weeks. He had a surgery done or a procedure done. Today's the 13th, so 2 days ago.
He is and remains just that's always the most admirable thing about people that are in that fight. Our friend Emily Walden, who went through it, just remained so massively positive. And you all at least I do. I put myself in those shoes, and I'm like, I don't know how you get out of bed every day and face that. And Dickie V, obviously everyone's pulling for you. He's just one of those. He's one of those kind of you can not even like his shtick at all and still love Dickie V. He's just a good dude.
I don't know the person out there that hates Dick
I've
Vitale.
never seen that either.
I think sometimes he's underrated and underappreciated because
of his shtick.
Well, I think people will look and go, what does he do? He's loud and he's enthusiastic. I could do it. I mean, anyone can bring that energy, right? All you have to do is just be excited, and he's just excited about everything. What skill is there in that? Let me tell you. Try it. It is not that easy to be as enthusiastic and positive and energetic all the time like Dick Vitale is.
Well,
it's absolutely a skill.
The other thing is that it's who he is, which makes it easy for him.
Absolutely genuine.
Who that guy?
He's been with ESPN since they launched in 1979. He called their first college basketball broadcast, and it's easy to dismiss it now with especially me. I grew up with the internet. I grew up with computers, social media. It's a lot easier to follow college sports nowadays.
Yeah.
He was a pioneer for the sport.
Yeah, he put him on the map, dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's not shtick you hear from him.
Yeah, I mean, are you going to get maybe more in-depth analysis from Jay Billis on college basketball? Yeah, sure, probably.
Sure, yeah.
But there is always a place for Dick Vitale in my world.
And mine too.
Have you guys played around with the new, the sports baseball Wordle version? Immaculate Grid.
Jack, our phone screener, my son, big Immaculate Grid player. I think he does it almost every single day. Jackie, do they grid every day? Come on in. Tell us a little bit about the Immaculate Grid, because he's always sharing his grids with me. I haven't really gotten into it myself yet. And played the Immaculate Grid.
I'm not great at it.
I mean, you should be good at it.
I know baseball.
Baseball. You should be pretty good at this game.
I have only done it twice. The first one I got, how many are there? There's nine
squares.
The first one I did, I got 7 out of 9.
So they each match up like a tic-tac-toe board. You got a category on the left and a category on the top, and it may be like 2 teams.
It's usually 3 teams on the left side, 2 teams across the top, and then a statistical category.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Most 200 strikeouts.
So the example I'm looking at right now, it's a grid, not a 3x3 grid, and on the left side you have the Dodgers, the Yankees, and the Phillies.
Okay, Dodgers, Yankees, Phillies.
And then across the top, you have the Astros, the Mets, and a 200-plus hits batting season.
Okay.
So you would go, the first box would be who played for the LA Dodgers and the Houston Astros?
That would be.
That's
That's
tough.
an easy one.
Is it?
Dodgers and Astros.
Dodgers and Astros.
Anytime in the career, and it doesn't have to be current.
No, it can be old.
Anytime in the history of baseball, that
Has
played
to
for
be.
both the Dodgers and the Astros.
Has to be Major League.
Yeah.
Jordan, but he never played in the majors for the Dodgers.
He was in their minor leagues, but they traded him away before he got to the big leagues. Why can't I think of anybody? There's gotta be a
Zach
pitcher.
Greinke.
There you go.
Okay.
Zach Greinke could be an answer for a lot of these.
Good. Is he in there, Paulie?
This
He's
is
got
just a
already filled
screenshot.
mine out, but
Yeah,
Is it
yeah.
already?
Yeah. And then, but
Be more
you
fun
get,
to play
you
it
get how
live
it
on the
works.
air.
So-
I mean, I can pull one up.
And so to get a better score, the more obscure player you come up with,
That's right.
the better score you
Yeah.
get.
How
Here
are
we
you
go,
so
here we go.
good at this game?
All right, here we go. Here we go.
You're not.
Let's do one live.
God.
Oh,
All right.
wow.
On the air.
Oh, we can all put our heads together.
So, okay, on the left side, going down, you have the Tigers, the A's, and the Giants.
Tell me what I need. Just tell me.
And
what
you
the-
have the Rockies, Padres, and 500 plus career home runs.
Okay, so
Tigers, Rockies.
Tigers and Rockies have played. Who has played for both of those teams? Wow,
We're
great. Very
This
bad.
is
at
great
this.
radio.
Tigers and Rockies at the same time.
Let's start with the Padres.
Tigers and Padres.
All right, Tigers and Padres.
No
that should be.
Mazzara.
That should be an
Ooh,
easy
Was he
one.
a Tiger?
You okay over there?
You all right?
Clear your throat. Like father, like son.
This is like
My
Hacksaw
goodness
Jr.
gracious.
over here. Hello.
No more
Angels
Mazzara.
batting order. No more Mazzara.
I think I haven't played it, so I don't. Green lights up. That means good.
Yes.
Yeah.
2% of people.
Oh, that's a good one.
Got that
Only
one.
2 people at No
Jack
More Mazzara.
Higgins.
Very nice.
I'm good at the Padres.
A's and Padres.
Ricky Henderson.
Ricky
That's going to be a
Henderson. That's gonna be
popular-
a-
Ricky Anderson's easy. What about
That's-
Brent Rooker?
Oh, there you go.
look at this
Yeah.
kid.
That was my first guess.
All right.
You
Yeah,
can have
Brent
Mazzara.
Rooker, 2%.
Wow, we're doing really well now.
Crap.
Giants, Padres.
Mark Grant.
Mud Grant.
Mark Grant. Mudcats. That's got to be a low percentage one, right?
I think a high percentage.
That is a 0.4%.
Oh!
It's like they barely know him.
Now we're nailing it. Now we are on a roll. But
That's
now
what
we
she
got the harder ones.
All right, who's a Tiger with 500 plus career home runs?
Al Kaline.
Nice. Yeah. There's not a lot of 500 plus home run hitters in there.
Miggy is probably
Incorrect.
You
Al
didn't
Kaline didn't get
500 home
500?
runs? Oh, we're out. We lost.
We have 5 guesses left.
So you get there's
Oh, okay.
9 squares. so you get
91%
9
of
total
people,
guesses.
91% picked Miggy.
Okay.
A's,
Damn it.
A's, 500 plus career.
McGuire.
Mark McGuire. Yeah.
Trying to think if anybody else.
Everyone said that, though, I'm sure.
That's got to be.
98%.
Yeah, that's got to be by far.
Mark
the,
McGuire was 65%
That's
only. And then a Giant.
well, Barry, but
Barry.
that is the most obvious one.
Willie Mays. And did he get 500?
I don't
Willie
know.
Mays?
I
I think he did.
Yeah, he got
yeah.
606
Yeah, he's 66,
something.
60 something. Yeah.
24%.
Better than Barry Bonds.
Yeah.
That's it. No. Okay.
Anyways, this is
All right,
ter-
let's
terrible
not do
radio.
that.
You get
It's
the
great
you
radio.
get
What are we
the
talking
Very
about?
fun game.
Do this
so
for an hour.
Immaculate Grid was purchased. It was acquired by Baseball Reference, and
How much?
they now own it. I don't have the price point for that, but they have it now, and their whole goal is that you will go down the rabbit hole. You'll play the game, but then you'll want to look up statistics, look up players.
Baseball Reference.
It's all right there in a baseball encyclopedia online for you. And yeah, this
Build
thing
a
is
subscriber base.
Genius.
Great website.
it's ridiculous how fast this has grown. It was like something like a couple hundred people were using it a few months ago, and
so
now
just not,
thousands and thousands.
not to be a jerk, but like, does anybody still do Wordle and the music one? Does anybody do Wordle
the music
anymore?
one, they shut it down. Spotify bought it, but they recently
just
shut it down.
shut it
They
down?
stopped doing it, which was sad because I like that one a lot.
I did
And I know
too.
some people still do the Wordle. I get it on my TikTok.
Yeah,
Sometimes there's like these people who all they do is the Wordle.
Wordle.
I see
and
Craig
associated
Elston still does the Wordle.
What was
I
that
see him
game
posting.
we're playing when we very first started the show that you won a few times and won
Oh,
money?
yeah,
Trivia
yeah.
King
Oh,
or
It was Scott who was the
HQ.
host. Yeah,
HQ.
HQ. Yeah, that was
I wish I loved
bad
anything
for
as
a
much
while.
as Ben
Bro,
loved HQ.
and I would rage. Because he's like, I won again last night. I'm like, son of a bitch, I get like 4 right.
Yeah, I ended up with like $9.
Yes,
in my account or
yeah,
something.
you
I was
murdered it.
killing it.
Forgot about that.
And
HQ.
They kind of fell apart too. I think they went bankrupt. recently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Something
it's just
about that.
passing fads.
all right,
And this may be
Well,
one.
let's create.
All right.
We need to create something.
finally, so we had
Yeah.
sad, we had boring but interesting. We all
Yep.
had some fun, and
Jackie.
now we're gonna have disgusting.
Jack, I need you to grab that trash can for me because I am going to hurl. When I saw this picture and almost threw up, which is weird.
Burger King has a new burger coming out. I'll throw it up on the YouTube chat for you. Where is the meat? It's not there. It's a cheeseburger, and I mean that quite literally.
It's so gross.
Burger King has launched a new burger in Thailand.
There's the picture. Oh,
They're calling it the real cheeseburger. There's no meat. Bun, 20 slices of American cheese. Bun is what you get.
20.
It's roughly a pound of
Oh my
cheese
God.
between two buns.
I can't even look at it. I'm not kidding.
I mean, we
charging,
do have an American equivalent of this sandwich. It's called a grilled cheese.
Okay.
But not 20
slices?
It's not that much cheese.
I got
That's for sure.
Lightheaded. I don't know why I'm so repulsed by that, but I am.
It's so I read about this. Apparently in Thailand, young people
Why
are
do you say
really
Thailand?
that's where it's from. Thailand.
Thailand.
Thailand. Thailand.
Finland.
Yeah,
Not Finland.
Finland. I'm dead. I'm absolutely dead. Thailand.
Hold on. Remix.
That laid me out, actually. Thailand. Yeah, and he looks at me like I'm an idiot. Thailand.
Yeah, you ever hear of Thailand?
Thailand?
Bangkok, Thailand?
The beaches in Thailand are amazing. You ever see that movie, The Beach? Filmed in Thailand. Don't take drugs over in Thailand. They will throw you in jail in Thailand for a long time. I digress.
But yeah, I guess young people, cheese is all the rage there. They like to put cheese on things.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
They're starting it out at $3 a pop. They're eventually going to sell it for $11. So it sounds like they do plan to make this.
$11.
I don't know if that's $11 American.
I honestly
or
don't know.
Thailand.
I don't know if I've ever seen a more repugnant sandwich.
How can you charge $11? I mean, I can go to the store and
You
buy
can
a
make
pack
that.
of
It's
American
just-
cheese.
it's just
and a hamburger
Craft
bun for like
single. It's just
$8.
a package of craft singles
On
between
a
two buns. Maybe two packages of craft singles between two buns.
I like that Ben said, apparently over in Thailand, cheese is all the rage.
It is. Well, I think
you just made that up.
There's clearly not a shortage of
I
cheese.
don't think it's something that generally is used in their cuisine.
When
When
I was-
you go to a
Okay,
Thai
that makes
restaurant,
sense. All right.
you're not eating. There's not a lot of cheese items, but now it's all of a sudden like, oh, let's try this cheese stuff.
Because when you said with their kids, and I'm like, well, when I was a kid, like weed was all the rage.
Yeah.
Like we were all trying to get weed, and now they're
Cheese
like, you want
is-
cheese?
yeah,
I'll take
More of that cheese.
14 slices. That it's
Get
all
some
the
of that
rage.
Parmesan. You're shaking on things all over the place.
I got a cheese guy. I need to call him up.
That is fantastic.
In
Fantastic.
Thailand.
Finland.
Finland.
Amazing.
Finland.
Idiot. Thailand. He looks at me with disgust. Thailand. One of my favorites.
Greenland.
Greenland.
Iceland.
Iceland. That sounds right. Iceland.
Yeah, that sounds weird.
Yeah. Iceland. Iceland. Reykjavik.
Reykjavik.
Iceland.
All right, we are really rolling. If you missed it, stay tuned. Woodsy and Paul did it again.
Did.
Ben prank
Gotcha.
call coming up here at the bottom of the hour. Stay tuned. We'll be back after traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
Just got this text from a friend, and so Paulie puts a rundown together every day, and today at the top it says, what day is today? Like we just talked about, National Barbershop Music Appreciation Day, National Beans and Franks Day, and National Delaware Day. Today is also, did you guys realize, today is National Poll Day. Paul, P-A-U-L, Paul. National Poll Day. National Poll Day is celebrated every year on July 13th. The day aims to show our appreciation for everyone named Paul. So if you're named Paul or you know someone named Paul, take this opportunity to honor them or yourself. You going to honor yourself later this afternoon, Paulie?
Probably.
Got the house to yourself. Paul is a masculine name, especially common in Christian countries, given the strong Christian heritage the name Paul has.
Who's your favorite non-Paul Reindl Paul?
Paul Stanley.
Paul Rudd.
Paul Stanley.
Yeah. Who's yours? Paul George.
Paul Molitor.
Paul Molitor. Somebody sports related.
Paul
Newman.
Giamatti.
Ooh.
Good actor.
Paul Newman.
Paul Newman.
Great actor.
Very cool.
Paul is, me and you both have pornographic sounding names. Paul and Steve are very, very mustachy names.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who are famous Steves? Steven Spielberg. Steven Seagal. I know you're a big fan of Steven Seagal. Let's see. Steve McQueen.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
What about Ben?
Ben Franklin.
Ben Franklin.
Ben the Rat from the Michael Jackson song.
Yeah.
Ben the Rat.
There's not a ton of hugely famous Bens.
Ben Stein.
Like Win Ben Stein's Money.
Right.
He was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off
Yep.
as the teacher. There's Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel.
Yes.
There's
I'd do that
Ben Simmons in the NBA.
Ben Verlander.
All right. We'll be back tomorrow.
I really fudged up. We had Ben Appreciation Day
We
like
should-
a couple of
you
years ago.
really-
This wasn't on my National Days website.
Happy National. Megan, if you're listening, take care of Paul. It is Paul Appreciation Day. Paul, I'll just tell you, we appreciate you very much. That's
Thank you.
about the best I can do. So today of all days is about the best I can do.
Solid appreciation of Paul.
One of our sales reps did drop by just now and let us know we have about 100 spots to cut after. So that's fun for you on
I'm
Paul
actually checking
Appreciation.
out.
Yeah,
'cause
it's Paul Appreciation Day.
So
That's great.
Sorry, we can't let you leave.
Ben Dover.
it's not
famous.
Italian Paul Appreciation Day.
No.
Maybe he can
do it.
produce those spots for you.
Yeah. Happy Paul Day. Paul Bearer, somebody says in the chat. Everyone's losing it today on the last day
We
of
are.
summer
We
break.
are. Well, maybe as a gift, you can pay for his trip to Korea.
I can't actually. When you guys would go back to school, do you remember so tomorrow is today's the end of summer break. It's our last day before it breaks over and we got to crank it up. Did you guys used to go clothes shopping and who would take you?
Oh, there was definitely some, back to school, some new threads for the first week of school.
Who would take your mom?
You know, Brooks Brothers.
Sometimes grandma. She had some style.
Brooks Brothers. Just khakis. Ben would load up on khakis for the year. Yeah, my dad would take us. I've told you.
I've heard these
I would
stories.
break down in tears every time I go because he would make me get stuff I didn't want to get. Why? It was cheaper than the other stuff, and I would be, I don't want to wear this.
My mom had that.
I'm sweating right now thinking about it. The anxiety of going school shopping every year was too much to bear. It was. I dreaded it for so long.
See, now you dress now like a cool high schooler.
Do I?
Yeah,
I
you
look like a slob.
concert t-shirts though.
Joggers.
We'd be very, very in. No, now kids wear pajamas to school.
Yeah,
my son wore pajamas like 80% of the
better.
time
Yeah.
to high school, and I think most of his friends did as well.
The pandemic changed it a lot. We're all like,
It's
you know
possible,
what?
yeah.
Let's just be comfortable. Life's short. Let's just be comfortable and not worry about it. But I would just get the most panicked about school shopping and because you just wanted to get through school without getting ripped on. You didn't want to show up first day and then nice shirt. Nobody wears those anymore, right? It's what you wanted to avoid. You wanted to avoid getting your balls broken all the time by your friend or people that didn't like it. I would be a wreck. I would just be a wreck every single year.
Shoe shopping was terrible.
Shoe shopping was terrible.
My mom would be like, just go to Payless.
Yeah, Payless.
Bring them for $20. I'm like, Mom,
Mom,
I will get my ass kicked.
Don't
If I
understand.
show up to basketball practice Shacks
Yeah.
instead of
Yeah.
Nikes or
Yeah.
Adidas.
You just get crushed.
Apparently, and I was reading this yesterday, the latest clothes trend is retro. And I was thinking, oh, what is it, like 70s, like tab colors
Don't
are
say
coming
90s,
back.
dude.
Retro's got to be 90s now.
It's Y2K. We're so old now that the year 2000 and what people were wearing then is now considered retro. And I still can't figure out what was the style back in like double denim or something.
Still baggy.
That people were wearing in the early 2000s is
Really
now
baggy.
cool
Like,
again.
like I remember.
I still have actual clothes from the early 2000s that I wear.
That cannot.
I can go Ben
be
here. I
true.
can bring it back to sports, like the infamous 2003 NBA draft. LeBron James, Chris Paul, Chris Bosh, all those guys. They are wearing suits. If they're an XL, those suits are 6XL.
Yeah, they're
I mean, they just
huge.
hang off their bodies. That was early 2000s. Yeah, you can go and get like the big tee. What do they call them? The tall tees.
Those
They just
massive,
hung
you could
off of
put
you.
like 4 of your buddies in it, like a small car. Obviously I missed that. I was college or working at the time, but that was not the big jeans, the Jenkos, I think they were called.
I can see Blake Snell wearing one of those big suits.
In a second.
Puffy jackets.
Him walking in and just drip. I'm like, bro, you're wearing a 6XL. I don't know how that's drippy. Whatever you paid for, it's too much.
Did you guys? My mom, so she would take me clothes shopping for back to school, most of my young childhood days. But then 7th and 8th grade probably is right around the time where she would just give me money and drop us off at the
Go do it
mall,
yourself.
and we were able to do it ourselves. That was exponentially better.
National French Fry Day too. I will be imbibing in some of those later. I promise you that.
Our friend Jordan tweets in, gonna need Ben Higgins prank calls on Ben and Woods literally every week. Thanks.
It's hard to keep it.
You've set the bar high. You
We
missed
have.
it earlier this morning. Woods and Paul did it again. Called a local sandwich shop this time, using my voice to befuddle actually our friend Rob Zilla.
Yeah,
We'll
our
do
pal
that
Rob Zilla.
coming up next on Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, if this is summer break, tomorrow is back to school or back to baseball at least. Got a big show planned tomorrow. It's a Friar Friday. Padres getting ready to face the Phillies. We will talk to Chris Kemp, Padres Vice President of International Scouting, was AJ's right-hand man for the recently concluded 20-round MLB draft. So we'll talk about some of the additions Padres made to the farm system. Still got to get some of these guys signed. You know, the bonus pool is limited. They also have some undrafted free agents that they've signed. Took some flyers on some high school guys in later rounds that they may need to convince not to go take college scholarships. So the work always continues. Never done for a baseball front office. It's a 365-day a year sort of thing. But looking forward to talking to Chris Kemp on a Friar Friday tomorrow.
Will we be joined by our pal Craig Elston tomorrow? It's been a while.
That's the plan.
Okay. So he was on vacation. I think he's back. He was doing the PA last night.
Yep, did the soccer game at Snapdragon Stadium, the 1-1 tie with Panama taking it in penalty kicks over the U.S. in the Gold Cup semifinals.
So it was interesting. I was driving home yesterday. I called my friend, as I usually do, my friend Mark back in Texas, and we catch up a couple times a week at least. And he said, well, what are you doing tonight? And I said, well, I'm going to go see Jason Isbell. He goes, oh, you're missing a huge soccer match. And I said, well, I mean, you've known me for 25 years. What'd you think was going to happen? And I said, so give me, what's the Gold Cup? Give me the, what is
the Gold Cup?
I always pepper him with questions. And he's like, look, it's a tournament. He goes, you got to keep your guys playing for the national team until the World Cup.
Next World Cup's not until 2026.
Right. It's got a long time.
It's here in the United States, Canada, and Mexico, all three countries hosting together.
And so I said, well, what the hell is it? Is it like a friendly? He goes, no, it counts towards your FIFA ranking and blah, blah, blah. He said, the interesting thing about tonight's game, though, he said, we are trying to build depth on our national team. And we've got a strong starting 11 or whatever. And he says, but we actually didn't even put those guys on the rosters. And I said, so the B team. And he's like, no, yes, kind of, right? And he said, so we want to see, what these younger kids and the depth pieces of this team look like. And I said, all right. I said, well, I mean, how do you expect us to do? He said, I think we should beat Panama. So I was pretty surprised last night when I saw the result of the game and the penalty kicks. I know people are. It's the zombie runner on second. It's all of this.
Yeah,
but
penalty kicks can go either way.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
That doesn't tell the story. Panama outplayed the United States. They deserve to win. They had 2 goals called back on narrow offsides. Guy took a step too early. They put the ball in the net. United States had a couple of chances that they didn't convert on, but for the most part, Panama was the better team. The correct team won that game last night. Had the United States won penalty kicks, you would have thought that's kind of a miscarriage of justice for Panama, who probably deserved to win that one. Yeah, it was, Christian Pulisic and some of the top European players who are Americans didn't come back for this tournament. It was an opportunity. They had an interim coach, Greg Berhalter's coming back, but he hasn't started working at the job again.
Why?
I don't know exactly why. They wanted to keep the interim coach through this tournament.
Alexei Lalas?
No, it's another guy. I don't remember his name, but Greg Berhalter will now take over and get you ready for the next World Cup in 3 years.
Is he on vacation?
No,
he's like, I booked a trip to Thailand, and I can't get out of it, and we're locked in. So I need you to step in and manage this.
It's just maybe some consistency because they'd already been preparing with one coach for this tournament. They didn't want to switch right at the last minute, but
okay.
So it wasn't. Yeah, this isn't the team you'll see in the World Cup in 2026. But still, the United States. Remember, they are so much bigger than all these other countries that they're playing in CONCACAF. Panama, tiny little sliver between the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean with a canal.
Yeah,
tiny country. And the United States should be able to dominate when you pick the best soccer players from our nation compared to even Mexico. Mexico is obviously 1A, 1B in our region, but the United States has done very well against Mexico in international competitions.
Is that
in recent
typical
years.
American arrogance?
I don't know. I think it's more of they didn't care that much if they won the tournament. They wanted to see some other guys get some play. Had had guys getting their first starts. They get locked into the American team. You know how that works in a real competition. Once you play for one country, because some guys may have dual citizenship.
That's how you lock it in.
Once you lock them in, they're always locked in. They can't change and go to a different country at that point. So you lock some players in for the future.
Yeah, it's like Little League. You got to get everybody
Once you're
in
your district. You're good.
Yes, Timmy will get his 3 innings tonight.
Yeah.
It may not be a shortstop, but he'll be in the lineup. But don't worry about it.
That being said, they could have and should have played better.
Yep.
And it was a rough performance last night.
That's tough. That's a tough one. I know many of our friends were at the game and pretty bummed about the results. But yeah, listen, I mean, there's still a long way to go. Long way to go before the World Cup. Women's World Cup starts in a few days, a week or so.
They're in New Zealand and Australia now. The first game against Vietnam for the U.S. team, I think, is in a week.
Awesome.
So,
all right, I love the Women's World Cup. I think it's spectacular. And
it's like the Men's World Cup, except we actually have a good chance.
We have a really good shot. 3, and that's another thing I found out. He's like, yeah, we won that 3 times. So he's fired up about it. All my soccer loving buddies are fired up about it as well. So here we go, San Diego, soccer town, MLS coming, the whole bit.
All right, we've got one last check of traffic. If you weren't with us at 7:00 this morning, going to bring back the latest Ben prank call that I have nothing to do with.
Yeah,
I'm now a serial prank caller.
Yes. You went from getting into no trouble to getting in all the trouble.
Turned me into someone to be feared by local and national businesses alike. We'll get to that after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad Traffic Center, part of the Premier Auto family, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad. You guys still have this crash clearing from the Nordall Road on-ramp to westbound 78. Traveling on southbound 15 at Miramar Road off-ramp, an accident has cleared. Keep in mind some road work is going to have the eastbound Balboa off-ramp closed off of southbound 163. Westbound off-ramp is open. And the Bonita on-ramp to northbound 805 closed for road work till about 2 o'clock this afternoon. Coach Quintero and Joe Musgrove's Choice, they're a different kind of dealership looking to be a solid community partner and deliver excellent service. Premier Chevrolet of Carlsbad, Chevrolet, find new roads. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So I love it when a bit comes together, and I love it when 2 bits collide. Bit inception. This is Ben saying all the things he likes over the last 6 months, and then we pulled just a lot of the food ones. And we called my pal, Rob Zilla. He owns Crossroads Deli. And I thought, I don't want to call a bunch of places across the Southwest and have people hang out. Zilla, I know Zilla will answer the phone. He works nonstop there. And he's such a friendly, energetic guy. Like, this is what happened. So we called with the soundboard of Ben.
Crossroads Deli.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Can I take your order?
How is it hanging?
Can I take your order, please?
I like eating.
Yeah, I'm glad you do. You called the right place. Number 45.
Through the roof.
I like a good thin
Number 40.
pancake.
You like a what, sir? I'm sorry?
I like a good thin pancake.
Deli.
A thin pancake? We don't have pancakes here, sir. You called a sandwich shop.
I like a barbecue chicken pizza.
I've got a barbecue chicken sandwich special, which we have on Thursdays this week.
I really like Fritos.
I have Dirty Brand chips, which are great, but we don't offer any of the Frito-Lay products. I'm so sorry.
Anything cream cheese based?
I got a bagel and cream cheese. That's about the best I could do for you.
I like fried Brussels sprouts.
Not at a sandwich shop, sir. You know, we got meat, cheese, between bread, some vegetables, but yeah, that's not a vegetable we'll put on a sandwich.
Let me ask you, what was the score of the Aztecs game? I was too much.
He had had enough. I called him back. I'm so sorry. So sorry, Zilly. He's like, you son of a gun. Go check out Crossroads Deli. It's incredible. I love that.
For all of their cream cheese based.
My favorite one. Paul, you were so good on the timing of that one. You think cream cheese based?
A couple of thin pancakes with some cream cheese and fried Brussels sprouts in the middle.
Fritos.
For a little crunchiness.
Yeah. It's fantastic.
How can he not have Fritos? Come on.
Well,
I get dirty chips are good. They're all potato chips. You need some corn chips as part of your selection. Don't you?
No.
Yeah, you have to have potato chips.
You go to Jersey Mike's, you don't have corn chips.
You get like sun chips, can't you? Those are
corn.
they're kind of. I mean, there's some sort of potato chip alternative. I like potato chips.
We
I
know
do.
you.
But you don't always want potato chips. You want a couple other options.
Oh, Doritos are corn chips. I think a Dorito.
Yeah, Doritos.
But I mean,
Doritos.
he's running it's a different. It's not your cookie cutter
When I go
sandwich.
to a
Chips
deli,
are good
I
though, too,
expect regular potato chips. I expect
Yeah.
a barbecue potato chip.
Salt and vinegar are my go-to.
Salt and
Yeah.
vinegar.
God, yes.
Maybe like a cracked pepper or something like
You know what I
that.
don't like? Kettle chips. Not a kettle chip. They
Well,
cut the roof of my mouth.
They're all kind of kettly now.
But you know what I mean. The ones where you're like when you bite into them.
How about the classic Lay's versus Ruffles? Like
Lay's
I'm talking
every day.
You'll go Lay's over
every
over Ruffles.
single time.
Okay,
Ruffles.
Lay's versus Ruffles versus Pringles.
Lay's.
Pringles
Still
are a
Lay's.
different. They're their
Different
own
animal. Stacked.
Completely
brand.
different animal.
Yeah, you stack them. And you bite them in. Do you bite multiple?
I
And
like.
the wrinkles goes everywhere.
I kind of like. You know how they're saddle shaped, and you just put them over your tongue, like you're saddling up your tongue with a Pringle. What?
It's not the good, bad, and the ugly. It's just you're just eating chips. You saddle up your tongue. You've done this.
I've done this. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. It's
well,
just
I'm gonna
kind of
try it now.
Saddle up your tongue.
Saddle
with a
up,
Pringle.
partner. I'm going to try this now. Do you just do one at a time?
It's a visual. I just did not need.
I didn't either. I didn't
Yeah,
even say saddle
I
up your
don't
tongue
stack them.
either.
I like to just do one at a time.
If you stack like 5 or 6 and then you bite them,
Yeah.
it's everywhere. It's a Pringles explosion
Now,
on your
I'll
lap.
eat 50,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I like them one at a time.
I could eat a tube of Pringles. No problem. Zero problem whatsoever. Now I
You
want
feel like if you
chips.
stop at half a tube, you've been very
Yeah.
disciplined.
I want chips. I want pancakes. I want cream cheese. It all sounds delicious.
I think
right
I
now.
prefer Ruffles to Lay's though.
Not me.
Lay's they just break up in the bag so
Oh, I
much,
love
and it's
them.
just all
I agree.
kind of greasy a mess at the end.
I like Ruffles. I do, but I don't like plain Ruffles. Those are for you have a
I
criminal
need the
record.
sour
Ultimately,
cream dip,
it's-
the onion
it's-
sour cream dip. If I'm going to do
Sure.
plain Ruffles,
Yeah. You have a criminal record if you eat just Ruffles out of the
At
bag.
Jersey Mike's, I do the Miss Vicky's salt and vinegar, and I
See,
actually
those
put
are-
them on the sandwich.
Those are too firm for me. Yeah.
But once you put them on the sandwich and they're mixed with that juice on it gives a little crunchiness to the sandwich.
It's delicious. I get the juice
It's really
on the side.
good. Really?
Yeah.
What do you do with it?
They overjuice. I dip.
You dip like
Yeah,
it's
like
a,
it's
like
an
it's a
au
French
jus.
dip.
Yeah, every time. They overjuice. I love them. You know I love them. I'm not saying anything bad about you, but they overjuice it.
I don't mind the sandwich being a little messy. I expect it to be a little messy.
I
You've
don't
already
want it
got
soggy.
The shredded lettuce, is going to fall out. You have to eat it over the big paper.
Oh yeah, that's why they give it to you.
Thing. But then what does it matter if it's a little drippy? You're already
It's soggy. It
you're
gets soggy.
already. Well,
I can
how
control.
long are you waiting to eat it? Are you always taking it home or are you eating it there?
I eat there 99% of the time.
Then you don't need.
I like
You
the
can
dip.
just put the dip. You just put it right on there. If you eat, it won't get soggy.
They
in
over
5 minutes.
oil and they over vinegar.
You can say light juice.
Light juice. Well, I'm gonna go home and saddle up my tongue with some Pringles for sure. That's definitely gonna happen today.
Yeehaw, partner.
That's so good. So good. Thank you guys for hanging in with us on
saddle-shaped food.
There's not actually for hanging in with us on summer break. I've had a lot of fun this week. We did it. We did
promise no more fun the rest of the week.
No, straight sports.
All
sports.
business. Technically, there's nothing going on today
Tonight either. Yeah.
So we won't really have a lot new to discuss tomorrow, other than it's a Friar Friday and
a
we're getting
preview
ready for the second half of the season.
We will preview the Padres Phillies series and kind of figure out what exactly we need to expect from this team and how it's all going to go.
I've got the entire road trip mapped out, by the way.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Exactly
wins and
what
losses?
needs to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I get a couple different variations. But like I said earlier, 7-3 is the goal. And you come home 500, start all over on your next homestand.
Okay.
I've got that mapped out for the Padres.
This is a new segment called Let Ben Cook. Tomorrow we're just gonna let you go on this thing.
They don't have to sweep the Phillies.
Your
They just-
beautiful mind.
Yep.
You put your beautiful mind to work on this. And
In fact, they could even split against the Phillies, and it's okay.
Okay.
I've got it planned out. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
I love it.
When we wrap up the week on a Friar Friday. Chris Kemp will be our guest, Vice President of International Scouting for the Padres. Greg Elston will be with us for his Crossing Streams recommendations. and it'll just be like a normal Friday for Ben and Woods.
Yeah, it was not a normal last 3 days, but I had a lot of fun and very proud of you guys. We challenged ourselves. I think we did a good job. Fun radio.
Yeah, good work on the prank calls, too. All right, that is it for us. Thanks to my son, Jack Higgins, our phone screener for the day. Paul Reindl is the executive producer of this program. Stephen Woods is the co-host. I'm Ben Higgins. Coach John Quintero, Braden. Coming up next, although we've taken all of their possible cat related content, so I'm not sure what Coach is going to talk about. He's up next anyway on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.